Madness Podcast! The best of the underground! Make madness your ritual!
Look at that. I love the stop, the instant stop like that. How you guys doing? Do me a favor. Check out Lowbrow Saints Tattoo Collective, 3456 Minnehaha Avenue, Minneapolis, Minnesota. Contact for availability. Let me see here. www.instagram.com/Lowbrow Saints. If you're looking for some tattoos, hook them guys up. Look them up. And here we go. Saturdays, they do some walk-ins, 11 a.m. to 7 p.m. Endless flash to choose from. Customs are welcome. 3456 Minnehaha Avenue in Minneapolis. Give them a shout. If you're looking for fancy pokey guitars, the Shred Den, Monday through Friday, 5 p.m. to 8 p.m. Saturday, 11 a.m. to 5 p.m. 9100 85th Avenue North, Suite 100, Brooklyn Park, Minnesota. Give them a call at 763-350-2191. Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, and TikTok, or www.theshredden.net. If you're looking for some design work, please check out Narwhal Design Solutions. Justin Boney, I really should just record these things and push play when I do this. You know how many times I've said this shit over and over, and I love it. But Justin Boney, check him out. He's done so much stuff for around the Twin Cities. Amazing stuff. I just saw some fantastic work that he did for Alien Raps, which is Vince Ebert's. Hold on, sorry. There you go. Are you there?
Yeah.
All right, making sure.
I saw that.
That's Vince Ebert's rap company. Not like busting raps, but rapping your car, that vinyl shit. You know what I'm saying? So if you're looking for design stuff, look Justin up. Narwhal Design Solutions. JustinBoney at gmail.com. Thank you for joining us. Hope you all are well. We've got the Enmity Offensive in the house, fresh off the Slammy D. How you guys doing? What's good? What's happening?
Doing pretty well.
Don't lie to me. You sound like you're lying to me right now.
I'm good.
How was the show? How was the Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis? Tell me what's going on.
Oh, I thought it was awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good times all the way around.
Yep.
Absolutely. I would say that it's kind of been a really bizarre week as far as we did Roar of the Underground last Thursday night, then got up, got in the vehicle, went to the studio, packed all our stuff up, and then headed to Sioux Falls, and then having to play it later on in the day was all just really surreal, and to get to be amongst the groups of our peers playing the music that we love was quite the treat.
Yeah, it's a fun festival. Les puts on a great festival. Good times. I think somebody said earlier when we were talking about it, like just the people who showed up were very dedicated to that vibe and always have a good time. Like there's never any issues usually at that place. The one time when I got knocked down with the camera.
Yeah, I remember that.
The funny thing Jesse said was like, me and Jake were just waiting for you to come back in and start kicking the shit out of people. And I was like, nah. I walked all the way outside with the damn camera. You can't do it, Les is good people. I didn't want to cause trouble. Plus, I'm 3 hours from home, and I don't want to go to jail.
Well, sometimes a fella doesn't give you a choice.
No.
And it looked like it was getting pretty close to me.
Yeah, it was pretty close. It's pretty close. Jesse said, yeah, me and Jake were waiting because we're going to jump in there with you. Start hammering shit. It's pretty funny. I loved it. I love that venue. It's such a good time. I wanted to do a couple things real quick. I wanted to say thank you to Intrinsic for last week's podcast. That was a fantastic get together with those boys. It was like 4 years in between podcasts, which really sucks because they've done so much cool shit in between. Very cool drop of Losing You was the tune that we did at the very end. If you didn't get a chance to check it out, please go back and listen to that podcast. It was really fun. They're very, very talented dudes with very emotional music, man, with a lot of really cool, like, positive energy coming off of it, man. You know what I mean? It's like when you ask somebody about tunes and they're just like, yeah, it's the first tune that we played was The Gift, and it was all about the gift of life and like enjoying it and taking, smelling the fucking coffee, the roses or whatever the fuck, you know what I'm saying? So that was cool. Thank you guys for doing that. Also, happy birthday to Camden Merchant. Camden's the rockinest little kid I know. He's like 11, 12 years old now. Plays guitar down at the Shred Den. Has been gifted a cajillion guitars. The kid's just like loves everything about rock and roll. So it's so cool to see something like that. Camden, happy birthday, dude. Hope you have a good one. That first tune was Orgy in the Vomitorium, huh? That's what it was?
That's what it was, yeah.
Tell me how you come up with that one.
That's a pretty good song title, isn't it?
Yeah, it's great.
Yeah, I know. I love that song title. I've been sitting on that one for a minute, too, so it was cool to finally break it out. When these guys brought that particular piece of music, I'm like, oh, yeah, this one's going to be Orgy.
Yeah.
Because, it needed just that right vibe, so.
Isn't that the thing, too, when you're writing, man, that you like when you write a certain piece or have a name for something, you want to piece it with the heaviest shit that matches it?
Oh, most definitely. I've always got a top 10 list of song titles, and yeah. I let, these guys will write the music first, and then I kind of just let it stew, and then the right title always finds the right song at that point. Yeah.
Oh yeah. What's it all about?
Well, so obviously on the surface, it paints a picture on its own, which is pretty fucking gnarly. And So it's meant to have that initial reaction, but then the deeper layer of it is just kind of human greed, consumerism, excess, selfishness, hedonism. You know,
just
take what you want.
Just humanism, pretty much right there. That's just human
and in
beings.
excess, you know.
Right.
So
Yeah.
just kind of a, expose on shitty humans.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, for sure. Why don't we go around the table? Tell me who you are. Just tell everybody who you are. Tell me what you do in the band, by the way.
My name is Wes. I am the bass player.
Welcome, sir.
Thank you.
Jake vocals.
Next stage left guitar usually.
Michelle Kolzicki, Nick's wife. I'm sitting in for the drummer and the other guitarist.
Nice. Welcome.
There we go.
You guys have been on the podcast though before, right?
Yeah,
Absolutely.
twice.
It's been a long time though.
It has
First
been.
time at this location.
Yeah. Yeah, we were at the original location, the way back. Way
Yeah.
back.
We're old school.
Hell
The
yeah,
last,
dude.
The last time I sat in for, I think, Alex Gorgos. and,
With Ghost Hook stuff.
yeah.
That's awesome. That's awesome. It's been a minute, so why don't we go around and like history, music wise? What bands have you guys played in previous to this particular project? I know it's quite a bit. Anybody can start.
So
It's going to take me a minute. There's been so many.
Yeah, it's okay.
I guess I could start with kind of the common bonds. Wes, Durf, and I were all in Devitalized together back in the day.
Oh, yeah.
So it's cool getting that back around. I've been in a few bands since then. More recently, I was in Colostomy Bong back in the day as well, but then most recently Taking the Head of Goliath, Broken Flesh. But we've been doing this thing for the last couple of years now, and about 1 year to the date almost, we played our first show.
Yeah, pretty much.
Kellerman pulled us out of the studio.
We've been working on this for a while. So it's been about 4 years in the making.
Well, I know Nick has kind of alluded to things, saying that he was jamming with people in cool projects, and I know you actually asked me about bass a long time ago, and I was just like, damn, that would have been such a sick situation to jump into, man. If I was, someone says in the chat, it's probably easier to list the bands that you haven't been in.
There you go.
All you guys, that's
Probably.
For sure. Yeah.
For Wes, for sure.
Yeah. Go ahead, Nick. How many bands? Who have you jammed with? You jammed with quite a few folks.
Oh boy,
through the years, right?
I guess I started 98, 99 with Panagoria, and that led to Anal Blast and Terrorism. And then there was Raytheon, and then there was The Body Beneath, Enola Gray for a little bit, Demonicon for a little bit, Invidiosis for a little bit, Ghost Hook for a little bit, and now on to Theo.
Yeah. Or,
Nice, dude.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah, I'm starting to fit in.
No, if you were starting to fit in, you'd have like 8 bands at the same time.
right.
That's what. Wes, you were guilty of that pleasure, weren't you?
Well, I
For a
usually
while.
I've had 2 bands going on at the same time. Sure. Yep. I had Ghost Hook and Krog for a long time, and then I've always had bands, just going from one project to the other.
Right.
Yep. Devitalized back in the day, and then Anal Blast was way back. That ties Nick and I together.
Now you guys toured together as well, right?
Not really.
or was it different
kinda
tenure?
did like
We did short runs, like weekend
So-
runs.
Yeah, he was. You were on the beginning of it when I started. We did like Chicago, Green Bay, and Milwaukee. I think.
Sure.
Right, we did that. So that was like, or Wausau. I think Wausau was in
Something
there
like
too.
that.
Yeah, it was something like that. I don't know. It's hard to say, but we did that, and then Nick left shortly after, and then I did like 2 tours with Anal Blast. So
Okay.
did one of the East Coast first, and then the West Coast on the other side.
Right. We were
So-
together in California, weren't we?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
California and
Arizona.
Arizona.
Yep.
Yep.
Vegas. We did
Vegas.
Vegas
I was
as
gonna
well.
say we
Yep.
played that Vegas show
Yep.
with Nick Cromus and Anal Blast.
Yeah.
Yep. That was fun.
That's a trip, dude.
That was a long time ago.
I've
That's
known
like-
everybody here like 20 plus years. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? It's such a trip, you know? And it is so cool to see, you know, good folks come together and make a project. Like, you guys all know each other from so many different things and being around for so fucking long. You know what I mean? It's
Well, yeah. I mean, I know Jake from Devitalize. We were in Devitalize together with Sean Smalley and Tony Garfield. And
R.I.P. to Sean, man. What a
Yeah.
fucking loss there, man.
right? Yeah, for real.
I think there was triple six eyeball pictures just popped up like recently,
yeah,
wasn't it?
Did, yeah. Yep, I saw that, and yeah, it brought back painful memories.
Dude, there isn't a time. There isn't a time. Honestly, every summer I think of Sean. Every fucking summer, man. You know what I mean? I always want to go to Stillwater, no
Yeah,
matter
for
if he's
that.
down
Yeah.
there. And I got married down there, man. You know what I'm saying? He took care of me, dude. When I got married, you know, it fucking crushes me that dude's gone. You know,
Yeah.
what a good dude, man. What a good dude.
Yep, for sure.
Garfield played in that band, didn't he? Did Garf
Yeah.
play in Devitalize? Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a trip, man.
Yep.
I had
Yeah.
that. He gave me that pentagram. And when I moved out of that other studio, somehow that pentagram and the fucking with the
With
mask
the
on
gas
it.
mask. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
the one I've been searching for. That was
He-
the artsy one.
He made that.
I know.
I made
Yeah,
lots
yeah,
of
yeah.
other
I
ones
seen
that I
you
would bloody
smash
people
the
up with
dude.
and give
I
them
seen
away.
you smash the shit out of a dude, man.
I
He was
I
in
was
the pit.
there. I was on stage.
Dude, you were hitting
like-
yourself with it.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And then all of a sudden, this dude kept slamming into you, dude. And I just seen you go, God, just fucking hook this dude with this barbed wire pentagram, dude.
Yeah, there was a dude named Toad that we'd
Yeah,
pay his
Toad.
like $6 cover. We're like, you can come to any show, you know, and you just let me bloody him up every time.
Tall, dark-haired dude.
No.
He's
Okay.
kind of a
Kind of
gutter
light
punky
hair.
kind of
Okay.
guy, but yeah.
You'd
Yep.
like he had big gauges in his ears.
Yeah.
He'd like put a bar stool through it, you know, and hold it there.
That's awesome, dude. Yes.
Last time I heard about that guy, he was like going to Japan or something, but that was like a long time ago.
Watch him pop up, and
Who
he
knows?
created
Yeah.
some app there, and now he's super. He comes back.
I
and
doubt it.
Yeah, maybe that gas mask pentagram will turn up someday somewhere. You never know.
Put it out there in the universe, dude. I have no idea where it went to. I honestly have no idea where that went.
So you had it.
I had it, but I had that, and I had a Decker's vest, and I gave Rob Decker's vest, but
Yeah.
I'm not sure. I thought that I tried to contact
yeah.
Garfield to give it back to him because he gave it to me.
Because it was Garf's.
Yeah, because he gave it to me to put up in the studio, and I gladly put it up for years. That was on the wall.
It was.
Yeah, we left it at the Garf Cave, and it hung on that living room wall forever.
Yeah, right on that entryway going downstairs to the jam room.
Yeah, damn. I wish I still had that. That would have been super dope, man. That would have been super dope. As far as well, what were you guys getting into as kids, man? What was sparking your first musical interest back in the day? I know we covered this on some of the older shit, but I always like to touch back on it because sometimes people listen to it and they go, "Oh, I forgot that," or you know what I mean? It's been a long time since we've done a podcast, but as a kid, what were you listening to? What was sparking the
Tom Petty.
nice?
Yeah.
That was like your first jam, like
That was my
the
first jam.
the
Yeah.
refugees and shit.
Yep.
Nice.
All of it. Yep. His, Free Fallin' was a big hit, so
Oh yeah,
that was big.
yeah.
Yep. Loved it. That and just anything classic rock.
What
you know.
what was it about Petty that you really dug?
You could just sing to it. I don't know. Not sure.
Yeah, I really love
Yeah.
the fucking I can't remember the name of the song, but where they got the Alice in Wonderland theme video.
Yeah,
that was so
yep,
dope as
that
a
was
kid.
really cool.
With the cake.
Yeah,
Yeah.
with the cake, that was awesome. How about you?
Was that Last Dance with Mary Jane?
Yeah, no,
That was a good
Yeah,
one,
Free
too.
Fa-
That was a
Free-
good one.
Free Fallin'.
Free Fallin'.
I'm not thinking of Tom Petty songs. Probably Van Halen, Metallica,
Right,
Guns N' Roses. When I was younger, and then as I got older and got into heavier stuff, Slayer and Pantera, and then even heavier stuff, Deicide and Cannibal Corpse and stuff like that. But then, as I got for guitar influence, and I was getting into heavier stuff, I was also getting into fusion jazz, and because I liked playing more technical stuff, so like Al Di Meola and Mahavishnu Orchestra, stuff like that.
Now, were you just like turned on to that because of the technicality behind it and everything?
Yeah, the flash of it and the kind of just the flow. I would say.
Yeah.
And yeah, just creatively, it was inspirational to kind of have a metal bass and then a jazz bass to kind of combine and play around with.
Sure. I think I always thought that about jazz and metal, death metal in specific, because you have to tune your ears to hear it. You know what I'm saying? Like everybody who says, perfect example, Mike from Glutton for Punishment, played in White Crosses, played with Black Flood Diesel for many years, 13th Step, fantastic bass player. Wasn't really a death metal guy. Tries out for Rob's band, starts listening to death metal. Weeks before that, we talked about Acid Bath. And he was like, I guess I just don't get it. And I said, that's cool. That's the way it is. It's acquired. You know what I mean? Guys like us who played death metal before, we hear those riffs. We hear the power behind it, right? So he starts playing with Rob and them guys. And then his grandson plays Acid Bath. And he goes, I don't know what song he played, but man, it was fucking cool. And I go, you know why, right? And he looks at me and I said, because you just started playing death metal. And he looked at me, he goes, maybe you're right. And I'm like, I'm fucking right. Because those riffs, you just don't hear them like the way you should. And it's the same thing with jazz. Like there's something about jazz that has a flow to it. Either you catch it or you don't catch it. You know what I mean? It's not like it just goes, it's not.
For me, it was, death metal was something to be experienced.
Yeah.
I didn't like it at first when I first heard it.
Yeah.
But then a friend drug me to, what was it? Morbid Angel, Nile, Jungle Rot, and Anal Blast.
Okay.
At
Ground
Ground
Zero.
Zero.
I was at that show.
Yep.
Like,
I was
yeah.
at that one.
Yeah. So, like, I'm like a junior in high school. And, yeah, you brought me there, and that was what turned me on death metal. It was that whole show.
Yeah.
It was amazing.
Yeah.
It was like, I was like, holy shit. So
That was Blessed to the Sick, wasn't it? No. That was later.
That was
No,
later.
that was like during Formulas.
That was Formulas. I
Okay.
think.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
For some reason, I have that for some. That's the Caboose. That's the Caboose one that they played with Unleashed and Entombed.
The 91.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. That's when that would be.
That would have been 11.
Yeah, same here. Yep.
Yeah, that's a
10.
trip about it, man. I don't know what it was. I remember listening to Obituary Slowly Rerot was one of the first death metal albums that I'd ever heard, and I traded it for Flotsam and Jetsam, No Place for Disgrace. I traded it for that, and then it was like maybe a year later, and I was like, hey, you listen to that? He's like, this fucking shit's terrible, and he gave it back to me. I was like, you want to trade for something? He's like, no. And then shortly thereafter, once I got into Slowly Rerot, Cause of Death came out, and I was like, oh, that was the one that just pulled me in with that. And the Napalm Death, Harmony to Corruption, that was the one. How about you, Jake? What was the jams back in the day?
So it's a lot like Nick, starting out with butt rock classics like Poison and Motley Crue, and then you hit some GNR and then some Metallica, and eventually get to the Slayers and Panteras, and then when you hear Cannibal Corpse and Deicide, the rest is history.
Jake says butt rock, but I know that if it comes on the radio, Jake rocks.
Dude, oh yeah.
Rocks.
And I ain't ashamed of that at all. I listen to a lot of stuff, one of my main influences, though, is industrial music. I'm a huge industrial fan.
Shit.
Yeah. Skinny Puppy, easily my favorite band ever.
No shit.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Dude, I worked with a chick who was like a huge Skinny Puppy fan when I worked at a record shop, and that's all she played, and I loved it. I was like, this is cool.
It's all I fuck to.
Really?
Period. Yeah.
That's amazing.
4 years of fucking to Skinny Puppy. If Cassie's listening.
She said to just text. I know I hate it. No, just kidding.
But yeah, so I've always loved theatrical performance, across multiple genres of music, so your Guars, your one of my very first underground death metal shows was actually Anal Blast and what was the fucking band you were in back then? Panagoria at the Inferno. So that was pretty cool. Like,
The Inferno was a trip.
I never got to see a show there,
What?
ever. I never
That's
saw
surprising.
a show there. Nope, never saw a show there.
Have
I
you
got to see Carl from Nile get electrocuted.
That's what I heard.
That was
Eli,
awesome.
Eli from Daigoro
Well, not
made
really
a grind
awesome,
documentary. He made a grind documentary that has tons of footage from the Inferno. If you ever
shit.
get the chance, it might be on YouTube. I'm not sure. You better
shit.
ask Eli, but yeah, it's worth checking out.
Huh. Yeah, I'm ashamed to say that. We just
That's
Decker
so
and I weren't
crazy.
getting around
Well,
getting along
yeah,
at that time.
I get
so
that,
I just
yeah.
I just didn't want anything to do with him. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then he's sitting out on the curb listening to your band, and then you go to the window and he's like, "I knew that was you. Hey, you want to play a show? Yeah. What do you want to do? DRI? Sure.
Yeah, so
Friendship.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, pretty much. Yep.
So, like, what was the thing that pushed you to play in bands, like, or to pick up your instrument? Jake, do you play anything? Do you do other shit? Than
I used to
dabble.
touch a guitar every now and then, maybe
Caress
play
it.
a Slayer riff or something
Yeah.
like that. Never anything good enough to ever play in a band. And then once I started doing bands, being around guitar players like Nick
I don't wanna
and
be like
Durf,
them.
and it was like, why even try? I'm never going to be this good. I might as well just, Plus, I like to have my hands free and be a roving animal, So it's nice. But, I just, hearing that early Corpse stuff and that Deicide stuff, you just start grunting and growling and, walking around just being a weirdo making sounds. And, I don't know, it just chooses you, I guess, really is what it comes down to. I'm sure you can relate.
Yeah,
Just
you know what? I think when I saw you for the first time, I was like, "This is a fun." You were aggressive, and that's what I loved about
When
you.
I saw him for the first time, he was cutting himself.
Yeah.
While he was, Like,
Well, I mean, dude,
it was the Vitalize. It was
Yeah.
the Vitalize.
Yeah.
They were on stage, and before I was in the band.
Yeah.
And he's sitting there growling, and I'm like going, "What's going on?" And I see like there's blood dripping down from where he just went like this, and I'm like, "Oh shit, that guy's cutting himself."
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jake, what started you doing that shit? Like what was the
Backyard deathmatch wrestling and backyard wrestling, man. I loved that shit. when I was a
How did you
teenager.
get into that shit?
Dude, we
dude?
got
I
to
mean-
play a show of that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah, you did.
We'll
So-
round that out to the
yeah,
end of
we'll
that,
go
but
ahead.
yeah, that is a full circle thing,
Yeah.
Wes. Actually, I mean, like Japanese tape trading, that like early Cactus Jack, Terry Funk stuff in Japan. Obviously, got my eye on it first.
Yeah.
But I've always loved the bleeder wrestlers like Abdullah the Butcher and.
Dude, that guy's forehead was a fucking
Yeah,
roadmap of shit,
Oh, yeah.
dude.
Even Bobby the Brain Heenan was always bleeding. He was an awesome gusher, I don't think he gets enough love, but like Ric Flair, anybody that's bleeding all
Dude,
the time.
the guys
I'm
with
all
the
about it,
bleach
but-
blonde hair were perfect for it because you could just see it. Dude,
Right.
Dusty Rhodes, fucking all them old cats were just bleeders.
But yeah, you get into like ECW or some hardcore wrestling, and then somebody comes along and is like, "Oh, dude, check this shit," and then the rest is history, And I kind of grew up digging on G.G. Allen's
Right.
thing, and then just kind of was like, well, kind of cross these two things together and
Right.
have some bloody, crazy barbed wire shows, and
Right.
make it a little interesting, a little dangerous,
What, elbow deep?
and very real. Yeah. Jerry actually did our intro and our outro on this record too.
Nice.
Yeah. He's a
Dude,
homie.
so cool. Those cats are fucking so much fun, man.
He's a great musician
Yeah.
too. Yeah.
What isn't he? They have another band too, right?
He plays bass and Geigen, and then he does a band called Grave Length that kind of does like it's like spooky kind of like cinematic kind of scores. Like it's got this real cool horror movie vibe, just
Oh, yeah.
instrumental stuff.
Love that shit.
Yeah.
Twisted weird shit. I love it.
Yeah, he's still doing it, So, and he's doing like professional wrestling as well. But I just tore up my knees and my shoulders and pits and being a jack off, and like, well, I'll just hurt myself, I guess, on stage. So.
Now, were you doing any like with that stuff? Were you in the participating in the wrestling stuff? Were you doing any kind of martial
have you
arts or
ever
any
done
kind
any
of?
matches?
Just backyard like kegger party stuff, or just for like fun, like impromptu, just beat downs, with your buddies,
Yeah.
and just go juice a little bit and hit each other with chairs and jump off roofs and shit, So,
What the fuck were you hanging out with? That's what I
dude,
was
this is what we do in Wisconsin. Bro.
yes, bro.
Remember, I'm from the other side of the river.
Right? Get loose, dude. Get loose. Banging each other up with a fucking chair. Hey, buddy. Dunk. Fucking A.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
What? So when did you start? When did you like realize that you had the heavy shit down? Like you had the grunts strong enough to like, I'm gonna pursue this shit.
I don't know. I guess I just I was pretty well set on it, and then just goofing around with like just friends that play real like mismatch of band members, just pretty much freestyle jamming and just do it. And I'm like, I got to find a band,
Yeah.
And then Brad Githens was leaving Lockdown. I don't know if you remember those guys from back in the day. It was Smalley's original band from Stillwater. And they were going to start a new band, and that's what ended up becoming Devitalized. But Death Metal Dan knew those guys better than me. He suggested that I go try out for them. They had a friend, Jason Sawyer. He's a homie still hang out with him all the time.
Nice.
They were like, yeah, our friend Jason's probably going to do this, but yeah, you can come and jam. I said, well, you're going to have to tell Jason that I'm sorry because I'm about to be your vocalist, Cocky son of a bitch. But that's exactly what happened, so.
Yeah.
And then they had to mull it over because the Wisconsin thing again. They're all a bunch of Viking fans, and I had to let them know I was a Packer fan. They're like, wait a minute, man, we got to talk about it for a second more. So, and then, so.
The border battle actually played a fucking part.
To Smalley for sure.
Smalley,
Brent Pilrain, and Matt Vansgaard, like 3 of the biggest goal heads ever.
Hilarious, dude.
But, so, I mean, I guess that's a feather in the cap because, everything in their being was like, fuck this dude, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And the rest is history.
Probably made it that much cooler, though. You know what I mean? Like, once you won them over.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You're all right for a Packer fan.
But yeah, I mean, and then like, before we get too far away from it, like when we played this ICW North show last April with wrestling, and Wes is like, man, you were talking about this shit in like 2004 or whatever.
Yeah, when I
mean?
just joined the band,
like,
probably like 2006 or 7, I just started playing bass for Devitalize, and he was talking about doing this. And then we broke up.
So how'd you end up getting that show to play with the wrestling stuff though?
So my wife and I are still pretty involved with like the death match scene. I have been pretty strong.
Kinda? You guys are always got.
Yeah, we
They
travel
go
hard.
out to like Chicago and stuff.
Yeah,
That's cool shit, man.
Yeah.
we'll
That's
be in
cool
Atlantic City at the end of the month for No Holds Barred.
shit.
Volume 100. We told the promoter, don't matter where it's at, we'll be there. So
Damn.
got to keep that promise. But yeah, we do a lot with that. So we bring glass, just got good ins with all the promoters bringing weapons
Wait a second.
and shit.
Wait, hold on. Back the fuck up. You just can't glaze over that. Like,
glass?
yeah, we just bring glass. Like what bottles? Like fucking mugs? Or are we talking like beer glasses? We champagne glass? What kind of window panes? What the fuck are we talking about?
Yes,
here?
window panes, shower doors, tempered glass, like
Stop it,
sheets,
dude.
and T12 fluorescent tube light bulbs.
I've got pictures.
No,
from
hold on.
our-
Back up, dude. Now, where are you getting these pieces of glass? Don't tell me you're on Marketplace finding.
That's exactly what.
Stop it, dude.
Oh, yeah.
You're on Marketplace finding pieces of glass. So
Yeah,
you
I
can
just
bring-
tell the people now that it's for an art project. Because I was honest with a couple of people, and they're like, I need this shit out of here, but damn, this doesn't feel right. You know what I mean? You could just see them. It's like, oh, death.
Damn. That's
It
hard.
opens a lot
That's
of questions.
awesome.
When
Yeah.
you start talking death matches,
Yeah.
it does beg a lot of
Yeah.
questions.
Yeah.
So, yeah, lots
So
of
you
bloodshed.
All right. So where do you bring the glass? You got it in your back pocket, in a backpack? What the pieces this big? How big of pieces are you guys bringing?
So at the Martin estate, we have a shed, and it's called the Bloodshed, and it's filled with doors, glass, tubes.
This is at her show.
Yeah.
Did anyone actually use that trampoline?
Yeah. I got a picture of it.
Jumping on the trampoline?
They body slammed him onto the trampoline. Oh. Yeah. At the show
You made
that we
that?
played. Yeah, we played
I did
it.
not make the barbed wire trampoline, but
No.
that is it is a work of art, man.
That is sick.
It's amazing.
I think I just got tetanus fucking looking at that shit. dude.
Someone should start a band called Barbed
Here's the
Wire
guy after
Trampoline.
he got body slammed onto it. So, yeah, they got full-on body slammed onto
Make
the
sure,
thing.
make sure you show that to
Good
one of the
God.
cameras, like right,
Oh, yeah.
right
Right
there. Wes.
there.
Show that to the camera real quick. There
Is
you go.
that-
Look at that.
you seen that?
Yeah, you can see. I can see that perfectly. Yeah, that's crazy, dude.
Yeah.
That's
So-
craziness, man.
Yeah, no, and they had, you guys bring like fluorescent light bulbs and shit.
Like wrapped.
Yeah.
You do the whole wrap.
Yeah,
yeah, he
bundles
does.
of different sorts.
Oh, man,
you know, they People get very creative with the weapons and the
Was there,
and the
like-
contraptions that people
Hold
are
on,
throwing.
back
Hold
up,
on.
back up. Wait,
Was there
back up.
explosives too? Because I swear there was like a
Yeah,
lot
there's
of
been
loud
explosive.
popping.
I've seen people blown up.
Yeah, I got hit by shrapnel. I was waiting to back by our merch table, and I got hit by shrapnel.
Okay, here's a question in the chat. Head count for camo shorts under the table. There's only one pair of camo shorts because he's got like greenish brownish pants. He's got slam fucking shorts on.
I'm guilty.
He's only got, but there's one. Dude, you lost on that one. That was way under. That was way under, dude.
Good job,
Very
guys.
nice.
Fucking Johnny Hawk at the chat, dropping balls there, dude, on people's faces.
From tits up, it is a good bet that camo shorts are riding four ways around
Oh
right
yeah,
now. but-
yeah, dude. It's the fucking dude. That's our work shit too. Everybody's wearing camo shorts, dude.
I
Fucking,
bet. Well, yeah,
Freaking
because you guys
boots.
employed half the metal scene there.
I know it sucks when people have fucking shows too, man. Not being in band, it's like, dude, there's 5 of them gone today, dude.
Yeah, I guess I'll.
You barely hear any forklifts going in the whole warehouse. That's what it is, man. It's crazy.
Funny.
Yeah, when it comes to, dude, that just blows me away. So when you go to these fucking things, people just bring random shit to bash each other with, or like give to the wrestlers to bash?
Yes, so there is fans bring the weapons type things where they can choose to use, like most common, you're going to see gusset plates, you know,
Oh yeah.
get good blood immediately, one good stab, lots of thumbtacks, fire, glasses we talked about, slamming through a lot of staple guns.
Yeah,
Yeah. You'll see all that kind of good stuff. So,
Dude, them elbow deep dudes had people sticking dollar bills in. Some chick stuck a fucking 50 to the dude's ass cheek or close to his nutsack.
oh
or
yeah,
something.
he put his nuts on his leg for the 50, I think.
Jesus,
Yeah.
dude.
Yeah.
That's tough shit right there. That
They're
is
great. They staple the set list onto the guitar player. It's like, all right, well, this is... But yeah, so I mean, if I was going to break down the deathmatch community and just kind of give just put it all into one thing, I would say it's just like the death metal underground.
okay.
So it's like an immediate brotherhood,
Yeah.
immediate community. You travel around, you see the same people, whether you're at Maryland Death Fest, Slam Dakota,
Okay.
where you're going to run into a lot of people that and it's just this really tight group of really cool motherfuckers that love just the most violent, fucked up shit.
right,
You know what I mean?
right.
But are
So if you see more than 5 of them at a show and you get into some shit, those are the guys you want to grab and go, hey, do you want to go bash some shit with me?
well,
And they go, yes.
yeah. And the wrestlers are all super cool. Nick and Durf, they've been going to a lot of shows with me the last couple of years and stuff too. So these guys are all in. Wes
I went to one in February. That was awesome because it was kind of like a precursor to what we were playing. And I walk in and they've got this 2x4 kind of frame with wrapped in barbed wire. And I'm like, what is that going to be? So the final match, they took down all the ropes on the ring and replaced it with barbed wire, except for they left one side open. And after these guys had already just beat the shit out of each other, they both ended it falling on that frame full of barbed wire.
Right.
It's just how do you do that? I don't get it, but
Jake, how do you do it?
I couldn't do it.
It's just this beautiful. It's consensual violence.
It is.
It's
Well,
a beautiful
that's
art
the weird
form.
thing is, I thought I was going to be turned off by it, but Rotten.com did a number to me in my youth, and I'm like, I don't know if I need to see anymore, but yeah, it is consensual, and you're just every time you're just oh shit.
Yeah, I mean, with any pro wrestling, the thing that happens to the person taking the move, that's that person's idea, and then they're trusting the other guy not to, kill him.
Right.
But then you're doing it with all these dangerous elements where
So, someone in the chat says that show was sick too. Don't forget the cement bricks.
oh yeah,
Dude,
Yeah.
they're bashing each other with bricks.
Everything you can think
and
of.
everything's real.
Yeah.
There's no gimmicked nothing. There's no bullshit. So
dude.
and then I always sit front row. It's ringside or bust. But you're in a very real danger zone as a spectator in the front row as well. You know,
Nick got his glasses broken.
I sure did.
And there's video
How
of
did
it.
that happen, dude?
What was her name? Mickey Knuckles, a female deathmatch wrestler, was wrestling in a match, and she just started sitting on the guys in the front row, and then she rolled across to me, and she's sitting on my lap, and she grabs my face and puts it right under cleavage, and then my glasses broke. That's what happened.
That's not the story that I heard.
That's what I saw.
it'll be on the DVD. I'm pretty sure the
There is
RPW
video
Omega
of it.
will be coming out. But yeah, yeah. I mean, I've been cut several times in the front row, and that's, you know, if it's at the end of a show, my wife in particular, if she doesn't get cut and doesn't bleed at the shows now, she's a little bit sad at the end. She's like, I didn't even bleed at all.
Dude,
She's waiting to take like a, you know, get a real villain scar on her eye, or, you know, get her head split open is what she's really hoping for. But
dude, that's tough. Tough
yeah,
as
it's
nails,
great, but,
dude. That's
I mean,
tough as nails.
So that's what landed us the show with ICW North.
Yeah.
You know, I just
Yeah.
knew the dude, and you know, once he started talking about combining some music with the wrestling show, I was
Hey,
like,
I
yo,
got a perfect thing for it. I'd
Yeah.
love to do it.
the show is a big success. So I believe the plan is to do it again next year. You know,
Nice.
so continue to grow that.
That'd be cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, do you have did he ask you about any other bands to play with you?
We've talked about that a little bit. Yeah, maybe having a few more bands and
How many?
have
How
it
many?
be a
did
little
they
bit
do-
more of a festival.
How
Like
many did they do during that show? Just a couple.
just two.
Okay.
Yep. So Pussfilled is a one-man band.
Yep.
He opened at
Yep.
Doors.
Chris Bronk.
Yep. So like he played first, and then there was like the first half of the show. We played at like intermission after the first death match. So they're cleaning up all the glass and all the plunder out of the ring. You know, they're
Right.
sweeping shit and doing all that. So we played, and then then the rest of the. Then we enjoyed the rest of the wrestling shows.
That's awesome, dude. How long of a set did you say?
So we just did like a half hour during intermission.
That's
yeah.
awesome.
Yeah.
Were people getting into it, or were they like?
No, people got down. People
Yep.
got down. It was great. Yeah, and I mean, it seemed like we brought a lot of people already because there was a lot of our shirts right away, and I was like, oh, cool. You know, this is going to be a good little crossover. Not everybody's just going to go outside and smoke.
Yeah, somebody I don't know is wearing one of our shirts.
That's always cool. That's always cool, man.
There's
Yeah,
some
that's
video,
always cool.
There's some video clips of it on YouTube of us playing the skate ranch in Menominee.
That's what it is, yeah. So
That's where it was at.
That's
Oh,
where it
nice.
was at. Is that like a skating rink,
A roller rink.
a roller rink?
That's cool, dude.
Yeah.
And I think hardcore wrestling fans are like, these guys like wrestling too. Well, we like these guys. You know what I mean? So it's a
Yeah.
cool, like,
Yeah.
real passionate fan base to
Yeah.
get your, you know, it's just, it's the perfect mix, you
Fun
know? So, like,
crossover.
yeah, when I was dreaming of putting on shows like that way back then, you know, it's
I
cool
think it
to see
works.
them.
Now, when it
happening.
comes to production like that, do they? I mean, how big is the show when they do shit like that?
So the Zemergy crew came
Yeah.
to the skate ranch and set up, you know, their PA, you know. So
Okay.
I mean, it was on a roller rink floor.
Gotcha.
You know, so I mean, it was a
it
little
wasn't
DIY,
like-
but with
yeah,
good
it was-
equipment, you know.
yeah,
So
yeah. Yep, definitely. You know, we just had kicks and vocals going through the
Right.
things. Everything
yeah.
else.
Yeah.
Yep.
Like when we started in the basement.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, that's awesome though.
Yeah. It was fun.
yeah, very fun show.
Yeah. It was really good.
Now you said this particular promoter's talking about possibly doing another one of those, huh?
Yes. So this Ready to Die was what the event was called, but he's like, I think Ready to Die might be our like big weekend. You know,
Right.
like I'll use the term like the WrestleMania
Sure.
weekend
Yep,
of
yep.
the
Yeah.
underground,
Yep.
super underground thing. So, you know, if he sticks with that idea, that would be really cool. You know, and I'd definitely, you know, we'd be interested in.
Dude, I
You know,
would,
bringing some
I would
more
love
bands,
to
make
have
it a
some
little
cameras
bigger.
on that shit, man. That would be sick to be able to live stream that. That would be sick.
Yeah,
to get,
it's a
to
lot
get
of
a
fun.
to get a sick mix of the bands, like just throwing it down, and that would be really cool. You'd have to put cages over those fucking cameras, though. Holy shit!
We'll
Blood and
definitely keep you
guts.
in the loop, you know, if that comes up again. But
Yeah.
yeah,
That'd be
for
sick,
sure.
man. It'd be really cool. I've always thought about that. That'd be super fun. So you guys have really been getting a good you know, reception has been good so far
Yeah,
with this
very
thing,
good.
huh?
Yeah, it's been from all over the place, and instant, and you know, the shows that we played, we've gotten instant feedback from people that have been very, very positive, and like we keep telling them, we're just getting started.
For sure. Yeah. It's good shit, man.
Yeah, we got a
Very-
lot of
very
really good opportunities before the record even came out, and maybe
really.
because of past bands or whatever, like, Les giving us the final spot on the outdoor stage at Slam Dakota and like,
Yeah,
being
somebody
like, release
called
this
us a
thing here.
super group the other day.
It's like the Traveling Wilburys, Wes. You're Tom
I
Petty.
guess, yeah, right? Yeah, exactly.
We're the Traveling
would you not
Wilburys.
consider it a supergroup?
No, I guess. I mean, it's just we're all friends. Like it's just my buddies, But
Yeah,
I mean, but I don't know. When you've been freaking in the music business or the fucking scene for like 20 years, yeah, I'm gonna.
I take that as a compliment
Yeah,
to
sure.
all of us that
Right.
we've been
Yeah, I
around
was
and
just
playing
like,
in so many bands over the
shit.
years.
Yeah, you think I'm a member of a supergroup, all right? I don't think of myself as whatever, but yeah, no, I mean, it was really cool. It was a good compliment, but yeah, it was just the opportunity came up, and Krog was done with the passing of Brian,
Yeah.
and we did that, and Nick was we were talking back and forth, and I was just like, dude, I got an opening. My other guitar player just quit in my other band, and dude, I think you'd be perfect. And Durf, like Dane's work from the Body Beneath, because Devitalize and Body Beneath.
I
We
didn't
played
know,
a lot of show
I
together.
didn't know Dan was in the Body Beneath.
No, he said he liked the Body Beneath.
You mean Durf?
Yeah, Durf. Yep.
Nick, Body Beneath.
I said, yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, getting a jam with Dane has been, or Durf, or whatever we're calling him tonight, has been a lot of fun. Michelle actually was his music theory teacher at IPR.
No, he didn't go to IPR.
Or Music Tech.
We went to Music Tech
Sorry.
together.
Music Tech. Nice.
That's a trip, dude.
Yeah.
That. Somebody was just asking about Music Tech. What did it turn into after that?
The McNally Smith College of Music, and then it went bankrupt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like every fucking music thing in this city, for some
Yeah.
reason, falls apart when there are some of the most talented musicians in this place.
I have no idea where to find my transcripts.
Really,
Yeah,
they're just fucking in the ether somewhere.
probably.
What do you do with it, though?
Yeah, and exactly. What do you do with an associate's degree in tenor sax performance and music production?
Right.
Right. Now, what were you doing before this? Like, what were you jamming on? I know you were kind of in between for a little while.
I took a long break after Ghost Hook.
Yeah.
And I really kind of focused on getting my mental health right and working on myself and just trying to get myself into the mindset of being able to play music again.
Yeah.
And
What was the issue? Why did you just not feeling it?
I social anxiety and depression, I think haven't had worked on it before, it was kind of the catalyst to try to go and work on myself and to tell myself I didn't have to be miserable all the time. And, like Wes had said, after Brian Owens had passed, we just talked, and I went down and checked out a few practices, and I'm like, yeah, I could play this and contribute something. And
Can I ask you, like the social anxiety? Did you have that early of playing?
oh, absolutely, and getting to the point of being able to play shows was a big thing, and even the years of all of Decker's Antics and Anal Blast, there's a lot of built up stuff for a lot of years, and I
You
just
mean
got
PTSD?
sort of.
Oh yeah, definitely.
You could call it that. But to be where I'm at now, and to be where I'm at mentally now, I'm in such a better place, and my playing's probably the best it's been in my career, just because I'm not overthinking things.
Sure.
And I'm just trying to be myself.
The reason I asked was just when I was younger, when I saw guys like Jake, where to me it was like that aggression that you had inside of you, for me it was self-loathing and hatred to things that happened to myself that I allowed to happen to myself. Shit you're working through as a kid, and being super aggressive, hyper aggressive. You know, you want to fight all the time and just fuck shit up all the time. When I found music, it was like I broke my leg playing football, and when I found it, it was like a lucky accident. And then each time that I joined bands, it was like I found people that like trusted me enough to kind of guide me down the right, you know what I mean, to keep me to keep me in the cage where I needed to be. But as I grew into a musician and grew into, you know, being kind of the guy that helped the band and promoted the band and pushed the band and was the front guy and you know what I'm saying? Like you got all this responsibility, and with the drugs and with the alcohol and all the bullshit that goes along with the business and everything else and all of that jaded garbage that you see when you're out on the road that you think, fuck, that would never happen. And it does. And you're on the side of the road and you're fucking miserable. And all of a sudden you're just like, this really sucks. And I remember playing my last show in Milwaukee, and we had a great reception, but it took me 4 beers to get on stage. And when I got on stage, I was so nervous for the first 2 songs. And then I knew that I could perform through it, but beyond that, I was miserable. And when I got off, I felt like music for me was like an orgasm. Like you save it till you're done with the show. Like the show helps you climax. If you get cut short, there's times when I would come off stage and I would bawl, I would cry, and I would just be like, you didn't allow me to get it all out. Like you cut me short. So it may have been a band that cut me short. Now I hate that fucking band. I hate the person in the band. I'm talking shit about you. And when I'm in my studio, you're a fucking prick. You know what I'm saying? I've done that. You know what I mean? As I grew out of all that shit, the social anxiety has taken over for me. 2 years before COVID, roughly, I was pulling away from society in general. You know what I'm saying? Like, And I'd get around people and I'd get oversensitized and just be like, what am I doing here? What the fuck? I want to kill everybody in this whole room. You know what I'm saying? I have no idea how I functioned in large groups of people for so many years. With, you know, it must have been the drugs that like kept me placated, or the anger that kept me like, just like, I got to get up there and get this out. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what it is about it, but I was just very curious about that because I suffered from that quite a bit, and it never happened before when I was younger. It just never did. And I don't know if it was, you know, the fucking, you know, just being, you know, angry from that time and like growing into a different person. You know what I'm saying? Like I remember trying to write death metal songs or heavy shit and not making it about myself. You know what I mean? Like I'm writing a story now, you know, and it was so difficult compared to like putting it to your own shit, you know?
Yep.
That's what happened with Necromus at the end. They wanted to go black metal, and I was like still in my own head and writing about things that weren't as heavy as they wanted to be. And that, you know, that's how Grand Demise really came to be from that, you know, right. From that whole thing. When I was asked to step down from that band, you know, that was a fucking soul crushing thing right there when you're asked to move on from it. Yeah.
No,
but you know, you guys know when you're jamming with folks and you find, you know, you move on and you grow and you do other things. And I mean, it had to have been a hell of a ride to get to be able to play again on a stage, you know.
You know, when we played our first show, what I was trying to gauge was how hard I could headbang, and I got through our whole first song, and I'm like, oh, I'm gassed.
Yeah.
I'm gassed.
Yeah.
Oh boy, I need some water. And then we got to the next song, and I started headbanging again, and felt fine. And you know, was worried about recovery time after playing a show, how many days it was going to take to feel normal again. And
so, Jake, how about you, man? When for a little bit of a break, like coming back into it and I mean, you've taken care of yourself pretty good. You know what I mean? Like, how did that feel? Throwing down again.
It feels great, you know, and you know, like when this band first, at the very, very, very beginning, it was just Nathan and I from Taking the Head of Goliath, and we're like, well, let's do something new.
Yeah.
We're going to go, you know, old school, traditional death metal themes, classic death metal, you know, brutality and violence, and, you know, just do a dark band again. And like right away, well, Wes is always like any band that I'd ever want to be in.
How is he going to fit in there?
Yeah, because not only is he an amazing player, but I say this a lot, and it almost feels redundant because I know Wes has heard it so many times, but I say he's the archetype of what a band member and just a friend in a band with you
Right.
looks like, you know?
Right.
So Wes started drums, actually. He was drumming with us at first. And then we brought Durf in, you know, so it was us from Devitalize, and then it was kind of like the Devitalize.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, when you're like, well, I've already talked to Durf, and he's doing it. And I'm like, well, then I'm doing it. I'm like, that's cool.
Well, Wes, I'll direct that question towards you too. Like, I know you've been through some health issues and shit, and been banged up. How does it feel for you? Because you have to be able to maintain through that whole thing, and like, you know, I mean, as we're not getting any younger, for fuck's sake, like, you got to pace yourself pretty damn good to be up there still throwing down.
Yeah, and I just had a back fusion surgery a couple of years ago.
Yeah,
but that was
dude, you couldn't play drums. You weren't able to do nothing.
I still can't play drums. It's like
your feet not working.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I have drop foot in my right foot, so I can't lift it up. So trying to play drums, I have to lift my whole leg.
Yeah,
and that just kills
goes
your
to your
back,
hip and
you know?
everything else.
Yeah, my hip especially, it hurts, so I can't do it anymore. And I've tried, and it's just tried different ways here and there, but which I'm really glad it worked out the way it did, because I'm better at bass, and we got freaking Jake from Sick Fuck. That's what I remember him from, but Jake LeMay, and having him on drums is just amazing. Like,
yeah, it's a good combo of dudes, man. When I was sitting in the underground,
he's a good guy too, and that's
sounds heavy. Yeah.
I mean,
that's a plus, man. How many bands?
No drama.
All the bands that you guys have been in through all these years. You know what I'm saying? When you find a group of cats that you can hang with, like you say, the backbone, the archetype.
Durf,
you know,
he calls our practices group therapy, and it's
true.
Therapy.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah, it's therapy. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, and it was all very deliberate, and every addition like fell perfectly into place at the perfect time, you know, because Jake LeMay, he had stepped away from, you know, being in bands and stuff, just doing family life like a lot of us have. And
he still has a farm.
You know, and you know, his kids were getting a little bit older and starting to do some of their own stuff where, you know, they're, you know,
when you're talking about asking them,
and then it just worked out. Like, we were hanging out a little bit, you know, having our kids swim.
There's like 20 musicians I would love to find. You know what I'm saying? Those cats. Yeah, that's cool. So how was he putting it out there? Were you just chatting with him?
Was he just chatting with him, and he came and he jammed, and Wes moved over to bass. Jake started jamming. It was just like perfect fit, and you know, it was all very deliberate on like who is somebody that's just a really good character guy, easy to get along with. Somebody that we want to, you know, sacrifice time with our families with to be around, you know, like, and
dude, that is a real thing. You just hit the button right there.
That
there. One statement is what who do you want to take time away from your family with? You know what I'm saying? That's fucking huge, dude.
Right.
You know, I loved the guys in my last band, but when you go multiple months of writing and putting things together, and then all of a sudden you're off and you're playing one I know we're old guys, so it's like, you know, a couple times a week maybe, you know, and it became this long stretched out thing, and you know, we're like right at the tail end of going to do pre-production, and I was like, I can't do it anymore, man. I can't. I love you guys, but I can't. I'm getting to the point where it's not fun anymore, man. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, as you get older, you have to find the right folks to do it.
Right, yeah.
And we take our time, you know. Like Wes said, it's been about 4 years going, and, you know, we just recorded 7 songs, you know. And that's part of the deal, too. Like, we're not putting a bunch of pressure on each other. Like, right now is a very busy time, but we had you know, like, family and everything else comes first. And then, you know, we take this very seriously, but we take everything else seriously as well.
Yeah,
you know?
I mean, we've got about a month and a half before our next shows, and so, you know.
Yeah, let's actually talk about that shit, because you guys got some pretty cool ones coming up. I know these are the ones you sent me, right, Jake? Is the the 2 fests, right? I'll let me pull this up real quick. You guys have the Northern Wisconsin Metal Fest first, right? That's the.
That'll be on Friday. Yep.
You guys will be doing
11th. I think. Yep.
Yeah. And then you guys are doing the Manitowoc Metal Fest 4, and there was like a big drop off on that one. Like Jungle Rot had to pull off or something.
Correct. Yeah, they're on a tour with Vader now. You know, so that's awesome for them. But
What do you mean they don't want to come and do this one
right?
show?
What the
Decrepit
hell?
Birth jumped on, so I mean,
That's pretty sweet.
Yeah, that's very sweet. That's a great replacement. Yeah, very excited. It's going to be a really fun weekend, Little Wisconsin.
Lots of really cool bands on both of these shows, man. Wasco's is always just absolutely out of hand, man.
It's been a while.
Well, you know what's crazy is there's always stories that come out of there, dude. No matter what, fucking Aaron Whiteside's waking up in the middle of the afternoon, a bottle of Ruppelmans in like 120-degree car.
I remember Aaron Leematinen like falling on Aaron Whiteside's tent in the middle of the night, and Aaron Whiteside's waking up going, "What the fuck?"
Yeah,
that was hilarious.
dude, he took a shot of that Ruppelmans, and he was like, "Oh, sweet, I don't have to brush my teeth." I was rolling like, yes, that's awesome.
Devitalize might have played like the first one or the second one. You know, like very early editions. Yeah.
Yep.
Now it's number 22.
22, dude. That's a long
crazy.
time. Aaron's been doing that show a long time, man. Again, lots of crazy stories from Wasco's, man. I watched a drunk guy go down a dry metal slide. You remember those old school metal slides, dude? And I just sat there and was like, this dude is in. He went head first, and his nipples, dude. You just hear,
Sounds like a smear.
just slide. What he got there? What was that one?
That was Devitalize from playing Wisconsin Metal Fest a long time ago.
Wow, dude. Holy
That was a
shit.
long time ago. Yeah,
That's an old one right there.
it is old.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Well, let's play another tune here. We got "Violence Is Virtue." Tell me about that one. Anyone? Jake?
It's fun to play.
Michelle, tell me about.
I listened to it today, and I like it a lot.
Nice.
It was the first song that I helped write for the band, and I had the intro riff written for probably 3 or 4 years, and then brought it to the band, and we arranged it, and it's one of our favorites.
Nice.
Yeah, this one, Durf and Nick really just you knew you had something real special, and Nick brought this to the table, and then when everybody worked on it, and this is a good one, but
Came really quickly.
Yeah, it starts really quickly too. It just goes, dude. Was that the?
There's a certain intensity I wanted, and it kind of goes the whole way through the song, and it's it adds some contrast to the other songs that they had when I joined the band that we also have on the album, but it's I guess it would be one of our newer ones.
Nice. Hell yeah.
yeah, and then lyrically, it's just the idea is like violence is pretty much human history, so every change, good or bad, typically comes through a violent nature of some sort, and it's just violence is a language that everybody understands, no matter what language you speak or where you're from.
Right.
You fuck around, you get your head cracked, you're gonna figure it out pretty quick.
Right. I heard a historian talking about it too. Saying that the spoils of war. You write history when you win. All the doctrine that has been burnt and from culture to culture. You know what I mean? Like, people fuck some shit up and they take your shit and burn it up. Like, we don't want to hear nothing about you no more.
And and as far as violence is virtue, eventually if you're on top of a kingdom or you're the man, the violence will come for you. Sure. Eventually that will fall. Just like any fighter or anything else. You see Chuck Liddell at the end of his career getting knocked out. It's like, damn, dude, Chuck's done.
And how many
from
years,
the top
dude?
of the heap, violence is virtue. But you're gonna taste the other end of it. The same violence that got you there is gonna come get you and put you down too.
Well,
so.
I mean, you see guys like Justin Gaethje, who's been he's been in wars and just been stopped and everything, and comes back, and now he's a champion. He's beat one of the baddest dudes on the planet. You know what I mean? Ilya Chapura just he stomped the shit out of him, busted his face all up. You know what I mean? Like, it's pretty crazy. I heard someone say there's always a bigger bear.
Yep. So this song plays exactly into and all that. So
I love it. We're gonna pound it. We're gonna play it, and we'll be right back. Stick around, fuckers.
Bullshit artist.
Bullshit artist.
There we go. I thought I was going to make it.
Said he was going to be back
Yeah.
in time.
Welcome back. Thanks for sticking around. Actually, I had to run to the bathroom quick, and I didn't have time. I didn't want to cross streams with Wes, so I had to wait a minute there. So sorry about that little. Damn, I actually ran. Holy shit, I'm fat. Welcome back. So I actually wanted to talk about violence too, man. We were talking about UFC, things like that. We already talked about the wrestling stuff. I wanted to kind of touch on that. Upcoming shows, let's hit those ones again. Holy shit. See, I'm fat. That's what it was. There we go. Here are the two shows again. September 10th through the 12th. You guys play on the 11th. Is that what it is? At the Metal Fest, Northern Wisconsin Metal Fest 22. I'm still breathing heavy. What the fuck? Time to go for a jog, I guess, dude. And then which day do you guys play on the 11th or 12th?
The 12th,
Right?
yep.
You couldn't play the same day unless you're really going super fast, right?
Those are goals to strive for.
Right? If you're playing across town, maybe, right?
Hell yeah.
That's fucking awesome. Let me see here. All right, I got to make sure I'm getting my shit together. I wanted to actually talk about some of your past stuff, Jake. The taking the head of Goliath. Like, you switched everything up back then. Like, you disappeared for a little while. I wanted to kind of ask you about that. Like, what happened, dude? Like, you were going balls to the wall for many years, and then all of a sudden you just disappeared. And
Yeah, I lived through it though.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, and that was pretty lucky, man.
Yeah.
You know, so
how bad did it get?
well, I mean, it wasn't really a secret. You know, everything I was doing was pretty evident, and you know, I was, you know, wearing everything on my sleeve that I was up to. You know, I was fuck it all kind of.
Yeah.
You know, G.G. Allen mentality. If I might die in a minute, might die tomorrow, but it's gonna happen soon. You know, but you know, just going wild. So I mean, like, pretty much what really did it though is like having a daughter.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. You know, and if I had a son, I probably would just raise a little fuckhead. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I'm like, whoa. You know, you got a daughter. It's a whole different deal. So I just had to clean up my shit. You know. So, and to do that, knowing myself, I knew that I needed to just get away from everything, because everything was, you know, just
tied together.
Everything was tied together.
Yeah.
You know, and definitely not in a place where I could try to balance that. I tried that a few times. You know, balancing things. So.
How did the building process start? Like you know, once you kind of cut loose from everybody and you're putting it all together. Like, you know, it's difficult to jump from going 100 miles an hour to slowing down to fucking the speed limit. You know, in a school zone. You know?
Yeah, and you know, like, I was in a pretty difficult relationship and a pretty difficult marriage at the time then too, you know, that I wrote up for about 10 years, you know, but family was very important to me for Rhiannon too. So, you know, I would have ate shit forever. And, you know, ultimately it, you know, like, you know, faith and finding God does come into the plan, you know, and that's, I think that happens a lot with, you know, there's a good, you know, just that whole redemption and forgiveness when you're a real piece of shit.
Yeah.
Is
sure
pretty
that
fucking
helped out a lot.
appealing, you know, and then also when you're in a difficult shit situation in life, kind of, it gives you, you know, it's like, well, there's something after this, you know, the suffering is actually for a benefit.
Yeah, I go back and forth with that too.
But, you know, exploring that, I'm very happy, you know, and then also like music was very important, you know, so I'm like, well, then I'm going to have, if I'm going to do music, it's going to be this way. So that's kind of where Taking the Head of Goliath came from. When I joined Broken Flesh, I'd already started kind of re-exploring what faith was to me.
Yeah.
And kind of, I guess, long story short, like, I was a very fucking extreme, you know, just anarchist criminal to, you know, a pretty, you know, a God-fearing man, kind of an extreme on this side. And now I've just, like, the pendulum is settled in the middle.
Yeah.
Now I'm, you know, I'm 45.
But you probably
I
needed
figured
that,
it out.
though.
I did need it. Yeah. You know, so, you know, now I can enjoy life and enjoy this band. You
Yeah,
know,
I remember
the way
when
it
you
was
were leaving,
intended,
and
so.
you just kind of were like, "Dudes, I have to go and take care of my shit." And that was it. And I was like, okay. I'm like, go fucking live your life, man.
Yeah.
Like,
And
you have to do it. Like,
you really do got to make like a big sacrifice that's meaningful in order to kind of have finality of turning a page. You know what I mean? If you try to, at least for me, I'm a person of extremes mostly. You know what I mean? So
for a while was what happened to Jake Martin. I didn't know where he was.
Yeah, me too, dude.
Yeah,
Me too.
Yeah. So,
Because I, obviously, when you're partying, because I was partying as hard as you were, you know what I'm saying? I was a complete piece of shit too, you know? I feel the same way. I just, I was very curious, like, how faith fell into your lap, how it came to you. Were other people talking to you about it? Was it in your family at one time? Were you indoctrinated into it as a kid, fell to the wayside and did your scumbag thing and then came back and figured it out, or?
yeah, so I mean, my parents, they like to have a good time, you know what I mean? They were, but so like my grandparents, we'd have a lot of sleepovers at their house on Saturday night because your parents are doing Saturday night shit, you know what I mean?
For sure.
So, church kind of became a Sunday thing with the grandparents. We're kind of, and them grandparents, they'll usually ride through, and I know one day you'll come around, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, I mean, it was always kind of there. And I went to like Minnesota Teen Challenge when I was a fucked up kid. I had a deferred sentence for burglary that they allowed me to go to treatment, and I ended up there. So
you got lucky to get those programs.
Yeah. So,
I never did.
Yeah, I mean, and I didn't make anything of it. I just went with the program and got the fuck out of there and just, wrote it out, just
Much like we do when we're young.
Yep. And, so, I guess all those like seeds were planted and stuff like that. So it you start asking yourself questions like, why am I so against it? Why does it fucking matter to me? And why am I really so against it if it's not, so like your brain is a pretty cool thing. I've always been a big thinker, so I did go into that, fully immersed. And then as I kind of wrote out the process, I was starting to notice little different things and just kind of, I can take all the wisdom from that and apply it to my life now,
Sure.
Yeah. And then, so I mean, that's
how long do you feel like it took you before you were able to be comfortable again in your own skin after shedding the skin really is what you did. You shed the skin to start something new, and like when was the first time you're like,
that's pretty easy. That was like the beginning of my first divorce.
Oh,
my
okay.
first wife. Oh yeah, like it was like liberation by betrayal. Like it was, it was a shedding skin, but it was a rebirth, and it's very important to me to just continue to be like the best dad I could be. So just all the good characteristics of a father, of a man, as a friend, a brother, son, all those different things.
Well,
it's very important to keep those things,
dude. And having, and I don't mean to cut you off, but having females are completely different than having boys. Like you said, you probably would have just raised a little tyrant, you know what I'm saying? But when you realize that they're gonna find guys that are like you, which version of them do you want them to find? Is how I looked at it. Like my oldest kid didn't get the time that my younger kids did with me, and they are very jealous of that whole situation. A lot of mental anguish in that whole deal because I was chasing the dream, because I was doing so many drugs. But here was my thing, was like I tried to separate from my kid to give her the opportunity to grow without having my bullshit on top of her. You know what I mean? And the wisdom, dude, it was like all of the shit that I went through, the jail, the bullshit, everything. I did it myself. I didn't find religion. I just found wisdom. I just was like, I've had enough of it. I'm sick of falling down in the same spot. I'm sick of not having money. I'm sick of sitting in a corner somewhere high as shit, whether I'm going to die or, whether my kid's going to see me again. I never even thought about marriage or any of that. It didn't dawn on me. I didn't give a shit about anything, anyone. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
At that time. So I know how you're feeling, but let me ask you this. Like, were your parents, are you tight with your parents?
So my dad passed from cancer about 10 years ago. It was a little bit of a shock to my family too, because I was, you know, there's just certain things that, you know, I was just avoiding, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like, yeah, it was a big shock, you know, because, you know, I was the way I was and then I wasn't, you know, so, and I think that there wasn't, at the very beginning, I don't think there was a lot of, you know, people are like, ah, fuck it, he's probably ate some acid fucking 2 days ago, and now all of a sudden he's on some weird shit. And a month later he'll be back, you know.
Yeah.
It was 10 years, you know. It's like it was probably a few years of like where I was really kind of guarded and distant in those social media and shit. And then after that, you know, I started, you know, I knew I could involve myself, like Smalley, you know, I'd go to the harbor and hang out with Smalley.
Yeah.
You know, I miss the fuck out of Smalley. You know, I miss the fuck
you
out of
tell
Durf.
me,
I miss the fuck out of people, you know.
Yeah.
But I knew it's like, I knew that I needed
needed
to be right before I could walk into certain situations, you know?
Well, I'm sure you probably just wanted to take little doses at a time to make sure you were cool to like not go bonkers for some, you know what I mean? Like, let me ask you this now with your first marriage, and we don't have to get personal about any of that shit, but I mean, like when you're trying to do the family thing, when you're in the religious part of it and everything like that, was that something that kept you kind of in that realm with the religion thing? Like,
yeah, because it forced me to do a lot of like counseling and a lot of soul searching and a lot of learning, changing, and just digging, not just like a Sunday for an hour kind of thing and then go back to regular life all week. So, because I was in a lot of difficult shit, you know, so it did force me to, you know, there's all kinds of Bible stories about, you know, being faithful while the whole world's just shitting on you.
Here's the thing right here, man. The last
that I could relate
the
to,
last few podcasts that I've had, there've come up moments where bands will talk about certain things that I think are fucking awesome. You know what I'm saying? Like, I did this way, and this is how our band does this, and this is, you know, it's pushed us forward. I always stop when I hear something like that, and this is one of those points because a guy like you, who, you know what I mean? If you know Jake's he's a tough guy. He's a big guy. He's fucking aggressive dude, right? When you hear a story about someone taking time to go soul searching and finding themselves with how many rough edges you had at that particular time, you know what I'm saying? That should speak volumes to anybody listening to this podcast, that anybody can do that shit and that you should do that shit. And that it's really important. I mean, Nick said the same thing, you know, finding yourself, being comfortable with yourself, finding music again, creating something, finding cats that maybe you jammed with before, you know, that whole thing to me is watching the growth in front of you. You know what I mean? Knowing we've always asked, like, what happened to Jake back then? You know what I mean? It's one of those things. I remember when I did photographs for Taking the Head at Amsterdam.
Yeah.
It was one of those things, dude, that I was so fucking happy to see you good. It was like when Wes got sober, when Wes was on his deathbed, dude. And as soon as he started feeling better, as soon as you know what I mean? I couldn't call him up. I just I said what I could on Facebook as much as I could because I'm one of them dudes that, like, I lived through it too. I know that we can do this, and I hate seeing your friends like throw their hands up and go, I can't do this. When I'm stopping in the situation, in the conversation to point out the fact that guys like you guys that are heavy dudes, play heavy music, wisdom, knowledge, cool motherfuckers, wisdom, you know, again, you took time to learn yourself and to come back to music, and it makes it that much cooler. I think that the energy that you put back into the music with your true self shows right here when you look out in that you go like, holy shit, we played this show. Everybody's got a shirt on. That speaks volumes. It's not just like, you know, that doesn't happen to every single band out there, bro. You know what I mean?
I almost died from it. I mean, that's the thing, you know. Yeah, I've been sober from alcohol for like 8+ years, and
dude, that's huge.
Yeah, well, yeah, but it was you know, I wanted to fucking die. Yeah. Like that was the thing. And it was I had fucking drank myself pretty much to death.
Now when you see that though, like was it a conscious thought, like
yes,
like you wanted to, or was it one of those things where you're like
no, it was no, I would seriously want to fucking just drink till I pass out and not wake up again. But you know, you wake up, you have to go to work, you have to go do certain things. But then, I didn't notice that my liver was shutting down, and it did. And it's like, I remember being in the hospital, got a ventilator in, so I can't talk to anybody. They've actually got my hands tied to the bed because I took my ventilator out.
I remember that whole story too.
Yeah. So that was crazy. And then, yeah, just like thinking that, all right, this is going to be the last time I close my eyes. And that's kind of how it felt. And then I was in a coma for a week. And then I come out of it. And it was like, holy shit.
Dude, do you remember anything in that? I mean,
yeah.
Can you
Yeah.
do you remember like what you were thinking in that thing? Or like
what, in a coma?
yeah, like were you just is it just go black?
Well, no, but I had hallucinations. I don't know if that was from like the drugs they pumped me in or something, but I had a couple of them. It was kind of weird. Like what caused me to pull out the ventilating tube was so I got in there and I was having a really hard time breathing. I went in, I was at 460 some pounds.
Yeah.
Went in, I was having a hard time breathing, and they had to put me under to put the ventilator in. But when they put me under, all of a sudden I just wake up in this room that it seemed like there was like 4 walls, but there wasn't any walls. It was just like blank space.
I could see
the
that.
liminal thing. But there's this bed in the corner, and it's got a teddy bear on it, and it's just like, but there's just a bed. There's nothing else, and I'm like, what the fuck? And I'm confused. I don't know what to do. So then I'm like, well, I'm gonna go to that bed and just lay down and close my eyes. And when I did, I opened my eyes up, and I'm in the hospital, and I'm like, how the fuck did I get here?
Wow.
Yeah, I don't remember. Like, I didn't remember going to the hospital. I do now, but I didn't at the time. And I'm like, where the fuck am I? And all these things. And I'm thinking, like, this is Saw. Like, they're gonna fucking kill me. I have no idea where I am. Like, I was just in this space where, there was no walls. There was nothing. And it was so weird. And so, yeah, I took the ventilator out. All these alarms went off. And she comes in there and they're like, oh my God, he pulled out his ventilator, and then I passed out again, and I woke up again. There's this doctor going, do you want the tube in here or through your throat? And I'm like, well, yeah, right there. And then I wake up again, and they put my hands on the thing, so I couldn't do it again. Which I tried to tell them, like, I'm actually, like, I know where I am now. Yeah. I'm not going to do that again. Yeah. But no.
They didn't believe you.
No, the whole time. Yep, the whole time I had it in there, they just kept.
So let me ask you, dude. Like when you come out of a situation like that, how does the process of healing from that? Like how long did it take you before you were able to like not be around? You know what I mean? Like, were you able to function around people right away?
Yeah, Like I remember Krog played a show. Yeah. And so, yeah, when I went in there, I was like 406 pounds. When I came out 2 weeks later, I was like, I'd lost over 130 pounds.
Jesus.
Of water. Just water.
Wow.
My body was hoarding it because my liver shut down.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I'm still living with cirrhosis to this day. It's just, you kind of live with it every day. And I keep asking, like, well, what's the plan here? And they're just like, we're just going to keep monitoring you and see how it goes. Yeah. So I don't know, like probably like 10 years, I'll probably need a transplant. Who knows? But yeah, I mean, it was, depression, man. It sucks. Yeah. And yeah, I just kind of saw no way out, and then I don't know, woke up, and then it was just like, if you have another drink, you're gonna die. 2 weeks after I got out, I went to go see a liver specialist, and as soon as he walked in, he shook my hand, and he said, you are a very lucky man. If I would have had like 4 other people in this room with exactly what you did, they're all dead. You're the only one living.
Right.
He's like, it's a miracle you're here.
Beast, dude.
And so I'm like, holy shit. So, and then they say like in AA, I went to like a couple meetings, and it's not my thing. But find your higher power. definitely music.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's been everything for for everybody.
Yeah.
I mean, for us musicians anyway.
Yeah.
So even before I started playing instruments, it's just you love music. So you choose
It's definitely in you. It's definitely in you, dude. I've talked about it a bunch. Like my wife, dude, I built her a stereo because I brought it up on the podcast. Like my daughter is just like me. Like when she wakes up, she's got to have sound. And I always said, like sometimes it's to drown the shit in my head out.
Oh, sure.
So I can I can function. It's like having a fidget spinner. You know what I mean? Like now I can focus on whatever I'm focusing on because this is taking up the nervous energy. You know what I'm saying? So like my wife, I built the stereo just got 2 shelf speakers and this little fucking amp, dude, and Bluetooth. And after 2 days, she came upstairs and I just let her play it downstairs. We hung out, ate some food, enjoyed the day. I went upstairs. The music was still going. And she comes up and she goes, thanks. And I go, for what? And she goes, bringing me back to music. You know, like our daughters are like, Mom would turn the music up when she was cleaning. My mom did the same shit. You know what I mean? It was like one of those things. But my wife didn't like, she doesn't digest it like we do. You know what I'm saying? I put that on Facebook and so many musicians are like, I didn't know that was a fucking option. Like, how could you not have music in your life? I just, you know what I mean? Like I remember being a kid
kids in
snapping
like
and,
somebody in like high school, like, well, I guess he had sports, but they would ask him like, do you like any music? You're like, I don't know. Like how?
Yeah.
Like, what do you do with your time?
Yeah, right?
Exactly.
You don't listen to music like just a pastime? Like what's going on there? Like I don't fucking get it. Like I don't know. Like I'm always tapping and doing something.
Yeah.
Like you're just always going. You gotta have music. I don't know.
How about you, Michelle? Like being the partner of someone who's rebuilding socially and like with mental health, you know what I mean? And I, you know, like we all have it. We all have issues with mental health, like anxiety and everything. But seeing it from the outside, watching, Nick come back to music, how's that been for you?
Well, like I always told him, he doesn't have to be miserable.
Yeah.
Like you don't have to be miserable.
Yeah.
You can do something about it.
Mm-hmm.
You can?
You can. You can talk to a therapist. You can go to a psychiatrist who can prescribe you some medication. Like if you're like me, you were born with a brain that's not wired right.
Right.
So you have to supplement the chemicals in your brain that don't exist naturally.
Yeah.
Just so that you can function like a normal human being.
Yeah.
Like
I'm definitely starting to think I need to go and get tested for like ADHD.
Like,
Dude, I've been thinking about that a lot.
I got diagnosed with ADHD at 40 and
Yeah, I should probably go do that.
autism spectrum disorder at 44.
There you go.
So
I started like looking at the autism, like, you know, the test and shit, you know what I mean? Like the breakdown. And I'm like, wow. Yep, I'm there. That's me, dude. I got the touch,
for
dude.
sure.
That's the touch.
For sure.
Oh yeah, everybody. Well,
Yeah.
So
I mean,
many
like,
people.
a
Oh,
lot
holy
of
shit!
us
I forgot to
anyway.
say this. Hey, we got a fucking
Oh shit.
old school in the house. Good day, fellas. Chilton, you are the best. Sean Jensen says hello, guys.
Oh, Sean.
Yeah, I love it when Sean,
Nice.
dude, he just pops in every now and again.
That
Never
dude's
got to meet you.
awesome.
Well,
Your wife says it's so wild how many people aren't obsessed about music. I think it is. It's really weird to me. You know what I mean? Like, how can you function?
yeah,
Dude.
that was my first thing.
So do you guys? You guys ever feel like music is a purge for you? Like you guys were talking about
Group therapy.
you
It's
know,
group therapy.
dude.
100%.
So not being in a band, you know what I mean? Music hits me a whole lot different, man. Like I get emotional, bro. Like I was playing music from my childhood and I was having a few beers and I was sitting there and all of a sudden I just started weeping. My wife comes out, she's like, "What's wrong?" And I go, "Absolutely nothing. I'm in the moment right now. Like this music just catches me, man."
Dude, I made Nick go to some Tool concerts because they're my favorite. And I'm just like, I'm going to bawl my eyes out this entire show, and it's going to be the best time of my life.
I did it the other weekend by myself. Everybody was sleeping and I had headphones on and I was just sitting there and I was tearing up. And the next day I was
nice.
like, I feel so good right now. It
Yeah.
was like, you know, when you go to practice and you're just like, I had a shitty week. People are being shitty. I don't want to do. My kids are being assholes
dude,
sometimes.
you need
You're
it
just
so
like,
bad.
fucking, you know,
Well, it's so important to like,
whirling it up.
you know, when you're talking about like
have an
nostalgic
outlet.
music too of your past,
That too.
like, you know, being in a band, it takes a little bit of that shine and that magic off of it, and being older. But like when you can connect to music like you did when you're 12, like we started this conversation out, well, what do you listen to when you're young? Music was magical, man. Like a performance or a
always
live
been.
show was unfucking believably magical. Like I
Dude,
remember
I would
seeing
do
White Zombie and
anything.
Pantera.
Dude,
like,
I would do anything to get to a show. I would rob. I would
Dude,
do
for
anything
real.
to get tickets. But you know, back then, dude, that Slayer show that's coming to the new place down in Mystic or whatever, that new place.
Right.
I sent the fucking tickets, how much they were, to my brother, and I go, dude, when we saw him the first time, he goes, I think it was $15.99, and we were bitching about it back then. I go,
yeah.
do you that is
Roy
fucking
Wilkins.
$3,000 more, dude.
Yeah,
like,
dude.
what the fuck is that
Crazy.
shit?
Yeah.
You know, it's so crazy to me. You know, it's
is
so
wild.
crazy to me. But
But they can pull it because, you know, everybody's getting older. And
Yeah.
you're going to want to see that. You know, I mean,
Eli from Daigoro said one of the coolest things, any compliment that's ever been said to me about playing music, he's like, you're one of the first frontmen that I ever seen play a local show. And he was like, I
Oh,
thought
same.
he goes, I thought you were out of your mind. He used a different word. He thought I was mental. He was like,
Nice.
you were just doing this shit. And
Oh,
he
yeah,
goes,
dude.
this guy can't be. He goes, this guy can't be fucking for real.
That was
and then he
my
goes,
first thought
the
seeing
next
Creeping
time I
Charlie.
saw you, he goes, the next time I saw you, he was like, you were just that into it. Every time I saw you after that, you were just that into it. I tried to be there every single time. And you know, as you get jaded and the older you get and the more bullshit you go through, and we're not able to pay you. Here's a pizza. You know what I mean? Wait, we're in Chicago. What are you talking about, dude? You know?
Dude, nobody used to stir up a pit like you.
Thank you. Thank you.
yes.
Thank you.
for sure.
Old school shit. It was fun. It was good times. You know, dude. But I look back at guys like you, Jake. You know what I mean? You were a young, aggressive dude when I was doing something else. I was just like, holy shit, I gotta be like that dude now. You know what I mean? Like there were so many hungry dudes. When I was coming up. I mean, you look at Alex Gorgos too. You know what I mean?
he was-
Oh, yeah.
Watching that dude become the musician that he is now is
shit.
just like
It's
holy
amazing.
shit.
Yeah.
And you know what I mean? That dude stopped smoking
just-
weed. What?
Yeah, well, that
No,
too.
hold on, wait. You know what? I thought Rapture was going to happen, bro, for real. Like when he came to the show and he was like, "Hey, I quit smoking weed," and I'm like,
Smoke cigs now.
"Hold on a second, dude.
He
Weren't
quit-
you the guy
he
that went
quit
to
cigs?
Colorado and
He's back on the other stuff.
spent like $1,000 in 2 days or something crazy?" Oh yeah, I spent like 500 and fucking smoked it all in one day. I was like, "What the fuck?"
Dude, the lungs feel good not smoking though, man. And playing a show sober, Wes, how about that too, huh? Isn't that wild?
It is pretty
cool.
wild. Yep.
You know,
I
you
like
can.
it.
It helps you. Like, it's really cool to like remember. You know, like your shows too, and just having that new lease on life is a really cool thing. You know, and you know, like getting a compliment from you about like when I first started playing shows and like when. You know, because I remember pretty early on, you're like, "Holy shit, dude!" You know, and I'm like, "Holy fuck!" You know,
Yeah.
Chilton just complimented me because I remember being a little kid seeing sub-level shows out at Float Right and at fucking First Ave and the Quest and shit like that. You know,
Oh,
so
the Quest.
it was you know that to me back then that was a pretty big feather in my cap. So tip of the cap to you, man. Like it's cool to
Yeah, dude.
be sitting here.
I couldn't
years
believe
later
that your wife knew the band too. You were like, "Hey, dude, if you got another CD, dude," I looked high and low, dude. I really did. I was like, I wanted to get
yeah.
you one for sure, and I was like, I can get you we could get it off of fucking Spotify, but I wanted to get her a CD. I was like, fuck, man. I even called Zach because Zach had boxes that were left, and he's like, "No, when I moved out of this place, I owed the dude money, so he took our CDs." I saw one on fucking eBay for like $85 or something. Shit. I was like, "What the fuck is that, dude? Really? It ain't that good."
Yeah, dude. Her and I were always like 5 degrees of separation, like throughout our whole like lives. You know,
Really?
She was like in Bayport, I was in Hudson. Like we're right across the river, and we just like never knew each other. You know,
That's
which is
weird.
definitely for
But
the best.
probably at the same shows and shit.
Oh, always, yeah. Like and just being the same type of weirdos to never you know, like cross paths.
well, that's
too.
crazy,
But
too, 'cause
it
it's
was
such a
meant
s-
to be later
yeah.
in life and
Yeah,
be
yeah.
now, because you know it would have been all fucked up had it happened earlier. But
Yeah, you would have fucked it all
yeah,
up.
I would have
dude.
fucked it all up for sure. I would have, yeah.
Right.
But yeah, she's the raddest chick ever, dude. But yeah,
Hey, well, here's the thing. We can go around the table, and each one of you guys found a rad chick that supports, right? Negative. Okay.
well, Nick
Yeah.
obviously.
But you know, it's
Nick and I are celebrating our 13th wedding anniversary at the end of August.
Congratulations. That's huge, man. That's huge.
Thank you.
That's huge. That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's a hell of a milestone, man.
It is.
You know, that's crazy, man. I love it. I remember we went to the comedy show together. We see Joey Diaz, right?
That was a blast.
Coco.
Nice, dude.
Yeah.
Nice.
That's a trip, man. I have another picture with me and Coco somewhere. I have it, but that's me and Joe Rogan when we seen him with. I think it was Joey, Coco Diaz, Doug Benson, Red Band, and
That was a while ago.
Did he?
Yeah, it was a long time.
Did
ago.
he color his eyebrows? What's going on there?
No, he was just fucking tiny. The dude
Yeah,
is
he
a
just-
little bitty guy. He's just a rock of a human being, though. He just felt like a ball of muscle. But he was just being silly. Looks like a monkey. He looks like a monkey. He really does. In that
Dude,
picture.
Joey Diaz is a national treasure, though, man.
For
I thought you were
real.
about to say Doug Stanhope too, man. Those two are. I'm a pretty big comedy
Yeah.
fan and go to a lot of shows.
Yeah,
too.
you just
I
got to see
need
Dedrick Flynn, didn't you?
Dedrick's the man.
How was it? Was he awesome?
Unreal.
Yeah.
He loves metal too.
Really?
Yeah, he loves metal.
I know
and he loves
he
wrestling.
He was
so
talking about that on Kill Tony. I watch Kill Tony every week.
Dude, I got a great picture I have to show you after. But it's just him and I were embraced, and we're just looking at each other, and you'd think that it was a love connection, dude. We're just like,
Yeah.
all wrapped up. He's a big hugger. He's like,
Yeah.
come on.
I seen
yeah,
Ari
somebody got some-
Shaffir there. I seen Ari Shaffir there. I seen
Nice.
I seen Bert Kreischer before he really blew up in that same comedy room.
In the mall.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it. They bring a lot of good
Yeah.
stuff in there.
I was
yeah.
dude, when I saw that you went to that Dedrick Flynn show, I was just talking about that with my wife, and I looked at it and I was like, we should go check him out. And she said, I don't know who he is, you know. And then you guys posted the picture. I was like, fuck yeah, dude.
Yeah, dude, David Jolly popped in unexpected
dude's
that night
hilarious.
too and talked some shit. Yeah, he's great. We saw him, a few months previous, but he was in town the same night.
Yeah.
And he just happened to pop in. That was cool as
Yeah,
shit. But
they're
yeah.
all in that whole Kill
Yeah,
Tony
yeah.
thing too, right?
Yeah.
Greg, you got to organize this again.
We should do it.
Yeah.
We should go do a huge.
Dude, yeah, it was some
Get together.
comedy.
That would
Love
be
it,
that would
man.
be
Just
super
get,
fun.
Get an entire table.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
We pretty much had it last time.
I
didn't we?
know.
That was a good time, man. It was fun.
Yeah.
Comedy is just a blast. I've always wanted to try it, you know, what I mean?
yeah.
Just to give it a shot. I went to a story slam at the Amsterdam a couple weeks ago, or about a month ago, with a guy that I interviewed from high school, and he was telling me about it, and I was like, damn, that sounds really fun. I'd like to go check it out. And we just couldn't connect. And all of a sudden, out of nowhere, he goes, hey, man, I got an extra ticket. Can you make it this Wednesday? And I go, yeah, let's go. I sat down, right? So we go in there. Now, we walk in, and they give you a premise. So it was like, I can't remember what the premise was that night. Something about dreams. Yeah, it was dreams, where you like a dream that you've chased or accomplished or failed miserably. They wanted to tell you a 5-minute story. There's 10 5-minute stories. You throw your name in a bag. They pull your name. They record it. They put it on video. And then if you win the night, then you move up to the next one. And then they go to the Ordway and do your story at the Ordway and shit, you know? So I was like, oh, that's pretty cool, you know? So the dude that I go with, he gets picked right away. So I'm sitting there, now I'm getting like antsy. I'm like, wow, this is cool. Now I'm going, what story could I tell? Now I got 12 stories, you know what I'm saying? I'm going, fuck. And the dude's looking at me, and I'm telling, dude, great job with your story. Now I know the whole premise. I watched an 85-year-old lady kill the entire room with one swear word, dude. She told a story about living in Europe, right? Her family moves over. Her dad's an army person, comes here, and she had a pony. And she said, I wanted to get my pony back. And she said, my grandfather or dad smoked pipe. And the pipe tobacco company had a contest, and you had to buy and save the little credits for your thing. And she's like, tobacco was 35 cents at that time. We had hundreds of these things. And she dropped one F-bomb. She said, I was going to win that fucking horse. And the whole place erupted. Like, she hobbled up there. I looked at this dude and I went, I get it now, dude. And he goes, what do you mean? And I go, I'm at the edge of my seat. Like, I want to, Now, there were stories where I was like, what the fuck is this lady talking about? Like, I looked at him, he goes, that'll happen too, right? But there was a lady who stumbled through her story, and like the dude was like, no, don't worry about it. Brings her back over. Okay, reannounces her and then helps her through the story. Like, it was really fucking cool. It was wholesome, and it was awesome. So at the end of the night, you get to tell if you didn't get picked what the beginning of your story was going to be. And I was like, what am I going to say? You know, my buddy was like, you got to go up there, dude. You didn't get a chance. When I walked on that stage, dude, I shit myself. My mustache was sweating. I was like, whoa, I haven't felt this in a little while. I walk up there and I go, ever since I was a little kid, I wanted to be a rock star. I played First Avenue, my teens, my 20s, my 30s, and my 40s. And I just went like that, and you just hear the crowd go, whoa, like this, you know, and I go, and I walked off, you know. But people were walking up going, you know, hey, I really wanted to hear the rest of that story. And I was like, yeah, I could do this shit, you know.
Yeah,
I never went back.
Right?
But I want to, you know. But
Well, my homie Chris Maddock runs an open mic.
Yeah, he was a bass player before me.
like a comedy open mic?
Yeah,
No
he's
shit.
been doing comedy for 25 years. He was one of Smalley's best buddies, but he played bass in Devitalize for a minute.
Really?
Yeah, he was fill-in. He did a few months, several shows.
What?
But he's still doing comedy.
Where at?
He was doing it at the Comedy Quarter Underground, and I'll get you some information.
Oh, dude, that'd be cool.
Had I known, I would have prepared a little bit and had the information to say right now, but I don't.
It's all good, dude. That would be fun to do that. We should all do that. That'd be fun.
Absolutely.
I'll have to look at the calendar and see if there's anything cool out there. If any of the Kill Tony people are coming up or doing any of that shit, that'd be fun.
Yeah, dude, I'll keep you in the loop for that, man. We usually hit those, man. So.
Dude, I really want to go to one of those Kill Tonys really, really bad. And I don't know if my wife would be into it. So if any of you guys would want to travel.
I'm going to skip Kill Tony. That's
You're
cool.
not a fan?
Not a fan.
I get it.
You know what you're talking
The
about.
thing is you don't have to be. Tony can be a heel. You can hate Tony all you want.
That's
I
his
like Kill
purpose,
Tony,
though.
But it's
He's hateable.
yeah.
Well, here's the thing.
I see
I
why
don't know if you
somebody
guys
would think
seen
that.
What is Kill Tony?
Kill Tony is a
Tony
is a-
Hinchcliffe is a
he's-
comedian.
He's a
Okay,
comedian,
that guy.
and
Yeah.
so he started the show like in Hollywood at the Comedy Store, and it was basically they pull names out of a hat, right? So it can be they'll have regulars that will come up and do sets, and then they'll pull people from the crowd. So it's like 200 or 300 names. It's grown into this really massive thing, right? But I wanted to say. The cat that the black dude that he got from that went to Saturday Night Live, I can't remember his name.
Cam Patterson.
Cam Patterson
Yeah,
did
he's awesome.
Club Shay Shay, and he asked him about Tony Hinchcliffe and what he thought about the George Floyd joke that he did, and he was like, "Listen, man, this dude got me to where I am." He's like, "I know this dude personally," and he's like, "He ain't that type of dude." You know what I mean? A joke's a joke. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And if you can separate the thing, it's kind of like every big band that we listen to, butt rock, old rock, you can't tell me that they didn't sleep with 16-year-olds. You know what I'm saying? Are you going to go back and say, fuck all those bands because they did stupid shit when they were, you know what I'm saying? Like, yes, it's fucking disgusting, but that was the way in the 80s. That was the way the shit happened in the 70s. Do I condone it? Absolutely not. I've got kids that age. I wouldn't want them meeting a dude like me and sleeping with a 50-year-old dude. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think they should go back and fuck with some of them dudes, but at the same time, it is. I mean, it's entertainment to some people.
Sure. And the way I look at like the Kill Tony show, it is a platform for all walks of life.
Yeah.
And any voice, any opinion, is it funny or not? You sink or swim by if you're funny or not, you know? So it really is.
I'll say his stand-up, his last one that he released was horseshit. I wouldn't have given him a golden ticket if that was the case, dude. You know what I'm saying? If you know the show, that's what. Sure. If you're really good and you stand out, and like he just gave a dude that has like schizophrenia and like autism, and the dude's hilarious. You see that cat? His name's Marty. He's like an old crazy dude.
Yeah.
The dude was hilarious. His rapid fire jokes, man, hilarious. But he gave the dude a golden ticket. Now he can come on.
There's
and
that storytelling stuff you're talking about,
Yeah.
Yeah. Just get up there and start yapping.
But a lot of them dudes, though, they say that's kind of cheating the system when it comes to comedy. You know what I mean? Telling stories, or But again, they say like do things that are close to the heart. You know what I mean? Close to what you know.
And there is a writing that people that are connoisseurs of comedy notice like the skill of putting something together, kind of like what you talked about, you know, listening to music a different way. You hear what's happening and why people do certain things.
Yeah.
Even like the old lady that finally dropped the fucking pony, you know what I
Right.
mean? She is smart to do that then. Like, that's kind of the brilliance of,
That's why I looked
know,
at my buddy and
writing
said that
as
shit.
comedy,
I was
you know?
like, these people really put this together. He goes, yeah, this lady, he said that same lady dropped one swear word in another story like 3 weeks ago, and he said, same reaction. She knows exactly how to win this shit.
Oh,
Yeah.
I was like, wow, I didn't think, you know what I mean? I just,
Yeah,
music to me didn't start like that. You know what I mean? It was just like,
I don't know how you become a comedian. Like, just the amount of you know-
ridiculous shit that comes
Yeah. Well. Yeah. Well, exactly.
Literally, all I would have to do is tell stories about jobs I've had.
Well, yeah. I mean, I could tell tours about anal blasts. I mean, that's
Yeah.
a stand up
yeah,
right
absolutely.
there. But yeah, but how you do that every night or come up with shit, I just don't know.
Let me
That's
ask you
cool.
this, guys. In this band, the writing process, how is it how is it compared to other bands that you guys have been in together or apart? How is the writing process go with this one?
I guess I could answer first just because I can get out of the way and get my. I always wait until the music's done, and then I just get my flows in. You know, I'm very percussive with my vocal patterns and stuff, so I get my flows in where I'm gonna have growls, where I'm gonna have screams, mids, different spots, and then I just start writing lyrics to the flow. You know, I do my voice as an instrument first, and
So
then
do
and
you-
then add the lyrics.
Now, let me ask you this though: when you do that process, are there spots where you lengthen or shorten? Are there things
Almost
that
definitely.
you feel? Okay, I just
Yep. So I freestyle. Like once they get a song done, I'll just start freestyling over it and just let like that natural flow go.
Yeah, yeah.
And I'll record it and I'll listen and be like, okay, shut the fuck up there. You know, usually I'm trimming fat. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Same with probably a comedian or whatever
Yeah.
with their jokes. But yeah, so I'll know what I don't want to do and then I'll just start trimming. But yeah, I get those flows first. So freestyling, and then once I lock in, I'll just start kind of going piece by
Yeah.
piece.
yeah. How about you guys when it comes to writing?
So far, I would say, being the new one of the newer members of the band, and still kind of feeling new, with writing with Durf, it's been bring ideas to the table, and then we work collaboratively on how we can improve them. Generally, I get a lot of ideas in, and we let everyone have their own say as far as what they want to do and what they'd like to add to try to get the best out of the songwriting, and it's been going really smoothly, and I'm pretty happy with the way that the EP turned out.
Inducing Oblivion, right?
Indeed. Yeah, and I would say, Nick, especially after this last trip, this last weekend of just having the Airbnb, you're definitely not the new guy anymore. You're just one of the guys, you know? And I can't wait to get into this next level of writing because we've been doing so much to like prepare to get into the studio, preparing for shows. Like we haven't written a new song all year. We have one on the board right now, but it's not complete. So we're about to turn the page as like, now Nick's not the new guy anymore. He's, like Durf, Wes, and I, we go back. It's like, so now he's just one of the guys, you know? So, and it's going to be really cool to see, with all that, because he was a little bit nervous and that, like he talked about his social anxiety, like feeling it out. But now it's just like we're all really gelled.
Now let me ask you this. So are you guys a suss it out in person type of band, or do you do both? Where you send digitally, like if you have a riff or an idea, does it go to the next guy and then elaborate on it, or does it?
Well, it depends how far we get with the writing. So, we try to tab the riffs out for the bass and the string section, so we could at least work on parts. But when we come to practice, we just kind of take it riff by riff and part by part.
Yeah, you and Durf get together and you just kind of, whoever has most of a song idea, and we just work on it from there. And so a lot of times, like I don't write any of the riffs really. I've written one riff in one song, but I kind of I'm kind of more of like maybe a producer as far as that, like, oh man, we should really go to this this area next, you know, like, because it, you know, you only get a certain part. Like, oh man, this song's only a minute and a half. We need more. So, you know, I think that's what my role is.
Now compared to past bands that you guys have been in and decades of the scene, how do you guys feel about the scene coming back to it now? Like, what do you guys what are the pros and cons coming back to it? What do you see? What do you
There's
think?
a scene.
It's
I don't
been
know.
seen.
Like,
Yeah.
well,
Yeah.
I just play music, man.
There's a lot more venues
Yeah,
than when
there
I
is.
started off.
Yeah, that's really
Because
cool.
I was right when I got into this was right around the time Mirage closed.
Okay.
And that's
Yeah.
when the Inferno really kind of started for that period where until Decker moved to Station 4, was the place where we had shows.
Yeah.
But just now it feels like there's nice to see more clubs opening again because for a long time it was kind of challenging to find places to play shows.
Oh, that's for sure. Yeah. But yeah, I don't know anything. I don't really, you know, there's a lot of cool clubs around here. I just don't really ever go to shows.
You know what's crazy, man, is that I haven't gone to shows in a really. I think the last one I went to was on
Talk
the
about
27th.
social anxiety.
Yeah, dude.
Come on.
Yeah, right.
Like,
You suffer from it as well.
oh, sure. Yeah. Yep.
Everybody in the room does.
I
Jake, you don't.
am made
Nah.
of anxiety.
Are you? Yeah.
I've got no. I'm too dumb
Well, like,
to be
I mean,
anxious.
the alcohol used to help with that a lot.
Yeah.
You know, but I don't know. So I go to shows every once in a while. You know, it depends on, hey, are my friends going to be there? That's what I want to know. You know.
Yeah. Somebody
Is
just
that-
said I missed the Triple Rock. No shit, man.
Oh,
What a show
Triple
spot.
God.
God, I love that spot. It was so much fun, dude.
Yes.
It was the best.
I am trying
We toured
to.
up as Devitalize, I think. Yeah, we played a show there with
It was with
Nailed
the
Shut.
Coronas, wasn't it?
Yeah, it might have been. It might have been the Chromas.
Where's that? At the Triple Rock?
Triple Rock, I
Rock
believe.
with
With
Devitalize,
Maybe.
Nailed Shut. I know Devitalize, Nailed
I was
Shut.
probably at that show.
Yeah, that's probably.
Yeah, that was fun.
So I wanted to kind of just talk about the Pillar Forum, dude. Like the Pillar Forum's going through a whole bunch of shit right now, and like having money issues, and like they're about to close this place down. I mean, it's still open,
I've never
but I
been
don't
there,
think they're doing
but-
any.
Neither have I.
I don't think they're doing any kind of shows right now. I think they're having issues with the city.
I
Or some
thought I
shit?
saw, like, right when I was in the parking lot, I think I saw a post where he was peeling off the fire, like, whatever they put on his door.
Unlawful, yeah, unlawful
Yeah, like-
occupancy.
Watching
Yeah,
it on
I
your
just see
thing.
that right now.
Yeah.
I think their GoFundMe reached a certain amount, and maybe, like, enough people called the city or something, but the post looked like maybe they're over the hump there.
Well,
Or-
I hope that that if you guys have played the Pillar Forum, or if you've been to shows there and it's something that you are into supporting, I think that you should, because we've lost a lot of really good venues over dumb shit, and you know, I mean, it's unfortunate, man. You know what I mean? It's a sad state of affairs. Now we have a ton of places, the Underground Cafe, Club Underground, Zora Darling, the Pillar, Flying V. I'm sure I'm missing a bunch.
Varsity's still doing shows.
Varsity's still doing Amsterdam's. Now Amsterdam's actually letting
Yeah,
people
Turf
do
Club.
shows there.
Are
Turf
they?
Club.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's good.
Well,
like
I
Amsterdam.
just tried to hit them up for a show because I wanted to actually put a show together there.
It's a
just
really
for-
good venue.
It really is.
Yeah.
But I think that, you know, it has to be curated right. You know what I'm saying? Like they have a perfect room. They have great food there. You know what I mean? It's a
They,
great
they
venue.
need to move it to Minneapolis.
Right. They need to move it somewhere where there's better fucking parking, man.
That's
That-
it.
that
Midway,
Yeah,
it's
it's-
close enough.
yeah.
$20 parking across the street sucks.
Just park in the
maybe-
neighborhood, like a couple of blocks away
Right.
for free. That's what we always do when we go there. But
Right. Yeah, why not, you know?
yeah, it'd be nice. Right now, I think it's tough for getting on national openers right now. There's not a lot of, you know, like nationals come through Varsity, come through Turf, and it's rare that a local opener gets on bills right now.
Well, there's
I'm
a
not seeing
reason
a
by
lot of
that.
it.
There's a reason for that too, is because the First Avenue, the conglomerate that took First Avenue, basically took the Fine Line, the Turf Club. So it's all
The
one.
Palace, I think.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the
Right.
Fitzgerald as well. I mean, all of those
yeah.
things are all under one roof. Now, if you remember back in the day, it was a motherfucker to get into First Avenue. When I was going to tell that story, that's a pretty big accomplishment.
Oh, yeah.
17, 20, you know what I mean? Into my 40s. that's a tough accomplishment, man.
I still think it's amazing I got to play that main stage, but I was sick with bronchitis. But were you in the band? No.
Was it the DRI show?
No, it was
I opened for DRI.
it was a
there.
Minnesota Metal Fest.
Okay.
They had Vital Remains.
I was at that one
with,
too. I played that one.
Yeah,
That
yeah,
would have
yeah.
been probably right
Yep.
after I left then.
So
The
yeah, it's-
Mentors.
Michelle,
show,
you
I
were probably
believe.
at that one too.
that
Oh.
was a
At the
good
Vital
one.
Remains show that Glenn Benton sang for that
Yep,
that one,
yep,
and it was
yep.
Joey Belladonna came with his solo band, and then Billy Milano was there with.
Billy Milano was
yep.
there. Yep.
I believe Black
Yeah.
Dahlia Murder played seventh.
I believe
the
they
entry
did.
on that
I
fest
believe
as
they did
well
too.
because
Holy shit.
I
that
believe
was
that
the
too.
shit.
I'd have to look
I
at
did
that.
not
That
see
one's not
that.
ringing a bell. But
I'm pretty sure.
I'm-
you were
I'm
there.
pretty
It was
sure
right
that's when I
around the
first got
heyday of
my-
that whole deal with
Yeah.
the whole Necromus down in Beth's basement.
Oh,
it was
yeah,
right around that time.
back
Yeah.
in the
Yeah.
day.
Yeah. That's a trip, man. That's crazy.
But yeah, I
man.
would like.
Oh, did you guys play the entry?
No, we played the main room.
Oh, that was I was there, and it was like just after shit went down with Tony Olson
Yeah.
and
Yep,
and-
exactly. Yep, same. That was right around that
and
same time.
Mindy.
That's hilarious. Now coming back to the scene again, or coming back to music again, like the whole social media thing, man. You know what I mean? How is that transition for everybody? I know, you know what I mean. If you're not in the mix of it, like,
I dig it. I like. There's a lot of people that in the scene I really wouldn't know if it wasn't for like Facebook.
Right.
You know.
Yeah.
And then
the
you-
algorithms
there's
that when
a-
we
yeah,
pass,
I mean,
and
there's a community
Yeah.
there. There is.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah. So. You know,
Some of
as
them we
much
may
as you
not
wanna
like.
hate- well, you don't have to be friends with them. That's the
Yeah.
great thing about it. You
Yeah.
can block them if you
Yeah.
know need to. But
And reblock him and reblock
Yeah.
him and reblock him.
if we're talking about one guy,
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah.
well, he's got multiple personalities.
There's a
but-
feel like that too, and multiple profiles.
Yeah.
Right.
But they all have the same name
Yeah,
for some reason.
pretty much.
Well,
That's
But I mean, other than that, though, I mean, I think it's really good. It's
it
you know,
seems
you're
like you
always gonna
guys have
have-
been using it well for this band. Like it seems like
he's
you,
the one that's into it.
Yeah, and
like,
the
you know.
internet makes the scene global.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
and we've, you know, we've
Well, Nick,
always
too, though. You know a lot of people from all over.
For networking, it's
Yeah.
especially helpful. And
Well, you did reviews and all that stuff too, so it's
I
not
used
like
to,
you
yeah.
were, you know, it's not like you don't not know motherfuckers. You know lots of people, you know.
You know a shit ton of people.
I try to use try to use the resources that we have to help however we can get our band to whether it be show swapping or just hey, check us out. I think you'd enjoy us. So
Or you just do what I did, because I'm an introvert, and I just, you
Poke.
clam on to other people.
Hey, but you
You're
know
like,
what's
you do it, you do it.
you know what's crazy though?
You
what
got all
what
that stuff.
I find really
I don't
crazy
know.
is that
I
through
just show up and play bass.
all the Minnesota bands and guys that I've known who grew up in the Decker era too. You know what I mean? Like we're gorillas, man. Like we started
guys
like
are.
cut and pasting our flyers together.
Oh,
you know what I
yeah.
mean? Standing out in front of shows in the cold, handing out flyers, like
Those
gorilla
guys still
shit.
do
You
it.
know what
I
I mean?
still do it, man.
That's
Still does it.
that's the shit I'm talking about. People don't do that anymore.
Yeah,
dude.
you got to put it physically into
Yeah.
somebody's hand,
Yeah.
and to make that sacrifice, it's good for the soul of the band to
Yeah.
grind and
Right.
to suffer a little bit.
Right.
And you should find joy in that, going out and freezing balls and handing a flyer, because anybody can scroll past 80 flyers while they're taking a shit, and we're all just conditioned to forget everything we look at.
Right.
Or
That
but
physical
yeah, somebody
thing,
that
though, when
hands
you
you a
ha-
flyer,
yeah,
they're
the
going to notice.
physical.
Yeah, physical
Actually, is there a
everything.
show going
I'm
on?
going to wash my pants and I find that flyer that I had in there from fucking last week. I'm like, whoa, I forgot that show was going down. That was cool shit back in the day.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
yep.
That was cool. But I really think that guys like us and people of our era, our ilk at this time from Minnesota, I think we've always given other people shows. You know what I'm saying? Like we're into the swap. Like we understand the
Totally.
value of the swap. You know, like
Yeah.
I've tried to tell, I mean, even these guys, like, hey, I'm going to introduce you to one person. Now, these guys are here in the scene already.
Yeah.
These are guys you should talk to on a regular basis. Like, they're going in the direction you want to go. Oh, okay. When you see young people sit in here and tell the story and then go, hey, have you heard of this band? No. You should watch the podcast that I did with these guys. They have great ideas. They're using things to their advantage. They're doing videos. They're doing lyric videos. They're fucking promoting. These cats that came in, they're like, you're the first person to acknowledge it. And I was like, listen, if I click or a video comes up in my feed and I have a fucking QR code to scan, I'm going to go, whoa, let me see what they got. What's cool? You know what I'm saying?
Totally.
You guys seem to be doing that, you know, like all the merch shit. I love it because it's just easier for me to share. Like, I'm going to share all my homie shit if I see it. You know what I'm saying? We all go way back. Why wouldn't I share? You know what I mean? Like, that's my whole thing. I think that guys like us and of our ilk, we help the other people around us. It's
Totally.
it's never been like my band's better than yours. I'm not, you know, like, we're going to play with everybody who's of our caliber. You know what I'm saying? We're not going to like not play. You know what I mean? I never understood that, you know?
Yeah.
But also, I never understood people who thought they deserved to be in a certain caliber or level. Like, why didn't I get that show? What, you know what I mean? It's like, well,
I've
because
seen
you didn't
that.
put yourself out enough.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I'll commend Nick. Like, right now with having our album out, you know, that's fine. You know, because it's one thing when you're just like, yeah, we got a band going on. Yeah, there's like a live video we have, you know, or we played 2 shows. But now that we have like an actual record out, Nick has been getting this into the ears and in front of people. Like, he can finally crack open that entire like network that he has of all those years of exactly what you're talking about.
Right.
The old school face-to-face networking.
Right.
Well, what's cool is that you just meet other fans.
Yeah.
You meet other fans of metal.
Yeah.
And then, my cousins came down to a show a couple weeks ago, weekends, and at Club Underground.
Yeah.
And the one thing they said was like, man, it's like you guys got your own little community here. I'm like, yeah, it's community.
Yeah.
Definitely. Yep.
It sucks because it seems like it swells up at times and then dries up and swells up and dries up.
Yeah, well, that's the natural ebb of fucking life, though,
Yeah.
I think, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
Well, I mean, I sat with you know, Tannic, and he was talking about, you know, one of his old guitar students from North Dakota came and played at the Flying V, and he was like, dude, there were 300 fucking kids there. And I'm like,
oh, yeah, I bet.
I'm going, dude, why aren't all you old fuckers that are in bands standing out in front of this shit, playing these 18 plus shows or all age shows? Like, get these kids into this shit, man. You know what I mean? Like, it is one of my favorite things to do when I see parents that bring their kids to these shows.
Right, yeah,
you and
get
I
kids
seeing each other at the Deftones show. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Like,
dude. That was great.
This is generations that we're standing with, dude. That was the trippiest shit ever, man. I look back at that picture because it pops up, and I'm like, that's the coolest shit ever, dude.
Yeah, that was great.
Our kids met each other. Like, we hung with our, you know, we're standing there with
Right.
our kids. That to me is cool shit, man.
Yeah.
The generations of the shit that we've done, you know, and like passing it forward, man. It's such a thing. It should be way more important to people, man.
Yeah, and when we talk about that magic of being youthful and going to a show, you know, we can all think of those shows that we had then. Like, and Riley, my daughter that I brought to that Deftones show, well, she brought me. You know, that was her first big show that she wanted to go to and wanted to go with Dad.
Smiles,
You know what I
dude.
mean? So
Holy.
it was cool. So that'll always be like when she has this conversation, when she's getting gray, she'll be talking about the Deftones and you know what I mean, that how rad that show is to her.
Dude,
you
my
know?
daughter
That's
talks
wild
about
to think about, huh?
the fact that my wife karate kicked some chick in the back. she was like, I've never seen, dude, my daughter just sat there and went like that. And there was a
That's
guy,
awesome.
a guy that I see in the pit all the time, and he got sober. So he wanted to tell me that he got sober. So he gives me a big hug and he goes, dude, I've been sober. I was like, dude, congratulations. Then he turns his back to my wife and stands and talks to me. And she looks up at me like this and just fucking, and he turns around, he goes, I'm trying to help you. She's like, I don't need your fucking help, dude. And I was like, yeah, you should probably move. And he just went into the pit, dude. You know what I'm saying? But my daughter did that same thing. She was like, holy shit, Mom is no joke. I was like, I told you she hits like a dude. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, like that's why she's with me, because she could put me in my place like my mama used to. You know what I mean? Nah, she's a tough chick, and I'm very lucky, dude. You know what I'm saying? I'm very lucky that she put up with my shit for as long as she has, 22 years of it, you know. Like,
That's great.
looking back with the kids and like, you know, we're kind of like empty nesters right now, and we're in such a crazy spot. I think you guys could probably feel that after, you know, years, and you settle in and you're like, you realize that you truly do love this person, and you can't imagine your life without the, you know, the chaos that they bring to you. You know what I mean? Like, I couldn't even imagine, you know. I was telling these dudes about how I don't talk shit about my wife anymore. You know what I mean? Like, being a young man, you're just like, I'm sick of that bitch. You know what I mean? She did this, she did that. You just get mad about it. And then I realized that I just don't give other people a chance to know my wife. Well, they just know that she was shitty to me one day, you know, and it sucks because they're like, your wife sounds like a bitch. And then when they see her, they're like, oh, she's a bitch. And I'm like, no, she's really not a bitch. She's really cool. You know what I mean? But, you know, but anyway, I digress. But, what advice would you give to young cats that are trying to get into this shit? And don't say don't.
Yo, this is great. I just gave some advice at that Club Underground show to, what is Mike, the dude that's playing bass for
Camden.
Yeah, his son is Camden. That's
yeah.
Camden.
Yeah,
Okay,
it's his
you were
grandson,
talking
yeah.
about it earlier.
Yep.
Yeah, he was asking me about that. He had asked like, oh, what are some of your coolest shows, you know? And
Yeah.
he was just very interested. He dug the band, so he was talking and just asked a question. I'm like, yeah, dude, like played with Cannibal Corpse and Suffocation and Cattle Decaf.
Did he go?
Yeah,
how?
I'm like, yeah, he did. He goes, how? I go, dude, just ask. Always ask, dude. Get yourself out there and ask, you know? But then I'm like, here's the thing, though. You can be the baddest guitar player. I go show your hustle, go show your grind, then put your money where your mouth is. And then the last thing you do is get your ass on stage and kick ass. Do all those other things that are going to make people that are doing this, you know, not just as a hobby or not just as a labor of love, like promoters and venues and other bands. They'll recognize you and go, holy shit, like everything you just said about some of these bands you're seeing. Yeah. These fucking kids are grinding. These kids are doing it. Mm-hmm. And they kick ass when it's time to put on the show. Yeah. You know what I mean? And then the sky's the limit, you know? And, you know, he was talking about his bands and stuff like that. I'm like, hey, man, just keep fucking shredding. And you're not going to have to ask anybody to jam with you. They're going to be knocking your door down because you fucking rip like no tomorrow, and you decide, you know, where you end up, you know?
That kid is the, if that kid can stay away from the bullshit, you know what I'm saying? Because, like, not to talk his business, you know what I'm saying? But we've been through some shit as kids as well, you know? He's been through some shit. And that thing that you said about not being afraid and just being upfront and going for it, Mike talks about it all the time. He's like, that kid has no fear at all. And I'm like, if you teach somebody that, and I remember walking into a club and, you know, being like, oh shit, man, you know, I'm a pretty good sized guy, but you still get like, who are these people? And when you find your community, it becomes one of those things. You walk in the room and you command it. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. You're not afraid of shit. You're not afraid of it. Everybody's got your back. They want to do the same shit you're doing. You know what I mean? And when I give mad props to that kid.
Yeah, he's awesome.
So he's going through some shit, right? And we become friends on Facebook. And I have this thing about passing shit forward now at 53. I'm like, if I can lay a lesson, I'm laying it down no matter what, right? Well, yeah. So Mike's like, he loves this, he loves, you know, and now he's starting to push back at school, you know, and he's doing bad. He said he was doing good, but then he lied, and then he found out, you know.
And he needs to hear from other people other than his dad.
Well, see, his grandpa said, you know, don't make me have to be the bad guy. I don't want to have to discipline you. You have to, you know. He's being real with them, right? Mm-hmm. And you know, he started asking me, and I started telling him about bands and all this other stuff, and we start talking, and I said, you know what? All the cool shit that I did, your grandpa did the same stuff. And I go, you know what's cool is he's sober and he's teaching you how to enjoy this whole thing. And I go, that is the biggest gift you could ever get. And I just said, for what it's worth, kid, just so you know, you got to pay attention. You got to respect those people that are trying to teach you something. I said, just like your papa. I go, you're getting all the experience that all these people dream about. You're sitting on the side of stages at festivals watching this amazing shit. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Yeah, dude.
But keeping away from it, and I laid it out there. I'm like, dude, if you can keep away from the bullshit, you know what I'm saying? Like, you're learning from your papa who's sober and knows what good music is and the love and the feel of that music. Follow that.
Yeah,
And then I was
for
like,
sure.
have a good day, bud. That
Yeah.
was it. That was it. You know what I mean? Like, I wanted to give it to him so bad, man, because it's such a gift to have that ear for music like that. Like, this kid is going, what are you playing today? We were talking about your other guitar player's guitar, that black one.
Oh yeah.
So
yeah, yeah,
I
yeah.
looked at it and I go, what
Jervis?
is that guitar? I'm like, I couldn't think of the fucking name of it at all. And I'm like, and he just looks over and he goes, I think it's an Ibanez. And I go, no way. Sure as shit, I asked you. And you go, oh, that's an Ibanez. And I ran up to him and I go, you were right, Camden. And he goes, what? And I go, that was an Ibanez. I knew it. He was excited
dude.
about
Nice.
it, dude. That's the world.
No,
bro.
he's got the bug if he can pick out a guitar.
Yeah.
Cause that was me when
Dude,
I first started playing.
I gave him
like, oh, man.
a 3D printed Eddie, right? And he's playing the bass. And he's standing next to Nate, and
Yeah,
he
give
goes,
me one of those.
he goes, I think he's playing, and he said the chord, and he go, and he shows it to Nate, and he goes, yeah, I would say that or this one, and he looks at me and he goes like this, and I go, yeah, what the fuck is that shit? Like, this dude knows what the 3D printed Eddie's playing, dude. Come on,
Nice.
that's ridiculous, man. Awesome stuff right there, man.
That's awesome.
Death Cult, what is Liturgy?
Yeah, Death Cult Liturgy. Yeah.
What is this one about? What is the? Oh, well, actually, you know what? Before we jump into that, I want to actually. Here, I want to go back. Go back. Northern Wisconsin Metal Fest. Do you guys and the Manitowoc Metal Fest? Do you guys have tickets, pre-sale tickets for sale?
We do. We have for Northern Wisconsin. We do. We got $25 tickets at the Enmity Offensive.bigcartel.com. They're $50 less than what they are at the gate for the 3 days with camping. We're selling ours for $25. You know, so we get a little bit of gas money and take care of ourselves a little bit, but also get anyone that wants to get up there.
That's a
there
fair
cheap.
price for
Yeah,
that
dude,
many
so-
bands. That's a lot and
It's
multiple
like $1 a
days.
band, dude.
Yeah.
So
Oh,
yeah.
it's so much fun too.
And on that big cartel, they can get your T-shirts and CDs.
CDs,
and everything,
all
right?
the merch is there. There's merch bundles. We brought you one of like the flag shirt CD bundle.
Well, I got a
all
flag for the wall.
All that's in there, yeah, dude.
Badass.
So all that can, there's a few different bundle options where you can save
I'll
a
move
few
some shit
bucks.
around, dude. Actually, there's some things that I want because the Evernorth guys gave me that flag, and it's been on the wall since they brought it here. So yours is going on the wall for sure.
Oh, sweet,
Morbid
dude.
Angel might have to move, or one of these skull banners will have to move. Oh yeah, I got a
Oh,
couple
you
of
got
them.
plenty of room.
Hell yeah! But I want it to be in the shot, so
Nice.
we'll have to
Thank you.
find a spot for you guys. If you gave me a flag, I appreciate.
Yeah,
that.
dude, we
That's
brought
awesome.
you the bundle with
you.
everything, associated with the release. But yeah, all that stuff is at the Big Cartel site.
Do you
And,
have tickets for the Manitowoc? thing?
Manitowoc? You can go to any of their event pages.
I think it has it on the
Yep.
flyer, or you can.
So
look
they've
it
got it there. I think through Pet Skull Brewery where the event is. So, but yeah, so we don't have tickets for that.
So you
personally,
guys
but
play on the 11th at the Northern Wisconsin Metal Fest, and then the 12th at the Manitowoc deal. You guys should go check these guys out. I did get a chance to check them out at Club Underground. They played very hard, very cool. There is one song that has like this little Latin groove in it, dude. In the middle area. I was shitting my pants. I looked over and I went, "Is he going do da 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 do da 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 da?" And I'm going, "That is bad as shit."
Yep.
That sounds like Death Cult.
Yeah, it does.
The shit was awesome. That's all I'm saying. The shit was awesome. Yep, that's exactly what I was doing. I looked over at Mike. I go, "You hear that shit right there, dude? That is sick."
yeah, we got lots of dancey shit. But yeah, I think you're talking. I know what you're talking.
Yeah, I know
Yeah.
that one. I know that part.
It locked in my ears. It was like the earworm. I just kept going. Did you guys play that twice, or you guys go back to
Yeah,
it?
yeah,
again,
it
right?
goes back to
Okay.
it, and it's more like it's just a breakdown of the original riff.
Yeah,
Yeah, so it's just slowed down. It's just
I love
it's a
that that ear trickery.
It's just it's
Just a different a
God,
cadence
yeah,
change.
Those guys, yeah, these guys they write some awesome stuff, and I get to play it.
Hell
So,
yeah.
yeah, I love it.
Hey man, I want to say fucking congrats on the sober and being here with us, dude.
Thank
I
you.
appreciate
Thank you.
that so much.
Yeah.
Dude, it's
Thank you.
awesome that you're here doing what you're doing, man. Seriously, I really, really appreciate
Greg.
the whole turnaround for you, dude. Honestly, it's an amazing thing to watch. Awesome. Nick, same thing. it's awesome to see you grow, and I know you were struggling for a little while, and it's great to see people grow, man. Again, man, I'm there with you, like on the opposite spectrum. You know, like I grew into it. You know what I mean? So it's kind of one of them things, man. I just appreciate good folks doing cool shit, and in this, we're not getting any younger, so fucking eat it all up, enjoy it as much as you possibly can, dude. It's so awesome to see, dude. So enjoy these fucking shows, and I hope people get out there and throw some shit down and maybe beat each other with light bulbs or whatever.
There you go. Yeah, this will be a fun weekend.
Is that able? I mean, are you promoting that? If somebody brought a fucking barbed wire pentagram and started whacking people with it, would you?
You never know. You gotta go with the moment,
Don't hit me, and you're all right.
Yeah.
But yeah, awesome people doing awesome shit. I'll throw that back at you, man. This podcast and how long you've been doing this, and how consistent you are.
Thanks, man.
This is fucking awesome, and you rule.
Thanks,
and
appreciate
doing this
it.
is really cool, man.
Thank you.
So thank you for having us.
You got to do it, right? I mean, Earl would have. Earl did it for us for when we were fucking kids. You know what I mean? And I mean, that's why I did it on a Friday instead of a Saturday. I never ever tried to step on that show or do anything. And I think it's just to have the respect around the table. The Roar of the Underground cats. I mean, any of those guys, they've all been super fucking great to me. Earl was one of my idols as a kid. You know what I mean? Decker was a fuckhead to me at times, but I absolutely love the dude as well. I think some of us have probably tried to explain that to him, that we were there as friends and not as someone that was using them to get shows. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But guys like Brian, you know what I mean? I always wanted to jam with Brian. You got to jam with him. Yeah. Jordan talked so about at the later part of Krog, he was like, when we went to practice, it wasn't for jamming. It was time to hang out with Brian.
No, it was time to hang out. Yeah, like with me being with Krog, that was like 11 years of my life, you know, and I was there from the very beginning. I was the drummer, and there was a lot of nights where it was just me and Brian. Yeah. So it was pretty amazing to play with that guy, and he was just an awesome friend. Like, I miss him a lot because he was just such a dear friend. Yeah. It was so great.
I got to speak to his son at the show on the 27th.
Me too. Yeah.
He walked up and just bent over, and he's like, "You're Greg Chilton, right?" And I'm like, "Yeah," and he's like, "Oh, we've never actually met. We've been around each other. We've never shook hands." And we shook hands, and he sat down, and you know what I mean? Again, one of those things where I'm like, dude, your dad was really something, man. I pointed at the table one of the last times that we seen him and Stacy together before they went on their trip and shit. We sat for at least an hour just telling stories in between the bands, going back and forth of just old shenanigans between all the people that we knew and things that we would just come up with. And he always had the best ones to just make it, he always had, he knew how to dial up a story really well,
He was really good at storytelling.
And talking to him about his dad and about Bill and about being there when him and Stacy met, you know what I mean? It's just, it's a trip. Like all these folks are icons to me, man, and it's iconic to me to see my friends still doing the shit, you know what I mean? Because I miss music like a motherfucker, dude. But it's one of those things where I just had somebody ask me like, "Hey, well, you still into doing something?" And I'm like, "It'd have to be the right thing."
It's got to be the right thing.
And then it was a question of, "Do you think you could still deliver?" And I'm like, "Well, I guarantee that I could still deliver, and I guarantee that I could still keep up with some of the, I'm still a fat bastard, but I'll still keep up with them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'll command them if I really, but it had to be the right thing.
It's got to be the right thing. Yeah, and that's what this project has been. It's been pretty much the right thing from the get-go. And just like Krog, it's just we want good people to hang out with because you're going to have to spend a lot of time.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. And one thing that was great about Slam Dakota is that we all got an Airbnb together. We rode down there together like
the old school.
Dude, yeah, man. Yeah. And that was his idea. Yeah. Because when I was with Krog, we'd all take separate vehicles pretty much to go down there.
What is that? Never understood that, dude.
Yeah, I don't know what. Well, because
You
like
gotta
you
go
know,
on
Rob
8.
would go down a different
Yeah,
day,
yeah,
and then
yeah.
I rode down with Brian one
Yeah.
time, and yep. So and that's how it always was. But this time, you know, we did it as a group, and that was just amazing.
Yeah.
Just to do that and spend the whole weekend together and just hanging out. And now we have a new favorite band movie. I think it's called The Greasy Strangler. Yes. Porto.
That's awesome.
Yep.
That's awesome. That's fantastic.
But yeah, so yeah, it's just been really good.
Somebody just said I should join Nate's Volbeat tribute band.
You should.
That's
Yeah,
funny.
I saw
I
that.
could never hit those notes ever, nor would I want
You
to.
don't want to sound like Metallica Elvis.
Yeah, that's what
Like-
it is, right?
That's kind of what I think it is. I don't know.
That's awesome. Well, thank you guys for coming and do it. Thanks, Michelle, for joining us. Thanks for sitting in for the rest of
Yeah.
everyone else.
Yeah, you're welcome.
I appreciate it.
When the dudes that I'm jamming with and I eventually get our shit together,
Let's
you
do
should
it.
have us on.
Let's do it. Let's do it. That'd be fun. Let's do it. I appreciate you guys. I love you guys, man. I
Love you
do.
too, bro.
I'm happy you guys are doing this shit, and we're gonna play some more. We're gonna play this last one and get out of your hair, y'all. I appreciate everybody tuning in.
Thank you, everybody.
Dude, 70 views already
you.
before this thing's over already. That's
I
pretty
think
awesome.
that 2 of them were people that I jam with.
That's awesome. Well, thank you very much, folks, for
Thank you.
joining us. If you haven't liked and subscribed the show, please do share it with everybody, man. Tell everybody. We've been doing this for I've been doing this for 13 years, and I still haven't hit 1,000 subscribers. So I'm going hard, baby. Woo!
There you go.
I'll do it before I'm 60. I'll hit 1,000. I bet you. There we go. I got
We'll
7
help you
years.
get there, man.
Let's
We'll
do it.
share this stuff around. So
Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. Thank you, guys. Fuck
thank
yeah.
you.
Thank you.
We're going to pound some
Thank you a
tunes.
lot.
Folks, don't forget, make sure you like and subscribe. Do all that happy shit. We're going to do the Death Cult Liturgy. Right?
Yeah.
Death Cult Liturgy, yeah.
All right, let's do it. Peace out, y'all.
Ritual Madness Podcast. Ritual Madness Podcast. Ritual Madness.